is Mia. I'm 16 years old and I am your new National Patient Ambassador this year. I live in Edwardsville, Illinois. I have my mom and my dad, my brother, Evan.
When Mia was born, she was the most aware little baby I'd ever seen.
She was an easy baby, beautiful, bright blue eyes that just kept staring at us, smiled at us numerous times while we were holding her, and it was lovely.
She is a very smart individual. She always seems to know how to deal with a situation, you know, considering the background and what she's been through.
I would say it's probably 3 to 4 months in of her young life, and holding her on the couch and feeding her and letting her sleep on me, I'm noticing that I'm feeling a shape that's not straight up and down on her spine. Very concerned, and I knew in my mind that it wasn't right. There was definitely something going on. So I went for her 4-month pediatric visit and brought the subject up to her physician at that time.
The pediatrician kind of dismissed it initially. In a follow-up visits, though, I think it became apparent that there was something wrong.
She had her first x-ray, which confirmed her curvature. So she was actually fitted for her brace at 18 months and started wearing one at that point through Children's Hospital.
We tried the clamshell braces and those kinds of things, and nothing seemed to help. It just seemed to be getting worse and worse. It was apparent that we were going to have to take a more drastic approach to helping her because her heart and her lungs were not developing appropriately. We initially got a lot of pushback from our insurance because they called these sorts of things cosmetic in nature. We fought with them for a little while, but then we ended up being referred to Shriners, the best referral that that could have happened, obviously.
Mia is a perfect example of what the Shriners can provide. She had a very large curve as a young child, which if it had gone untreated, would have resulted in a very different story today. As a child grows, you know, from probably 3 or 4 years old to 10 years old, we try not to fuse their spine and we try to just lengthen their spine. So Mia ran the gamut of spine interventions for her scoliosis, from bracing to her growing construct to her definitive fusion. Halo traction allows us to get almost free curve correction. That if you take someone to the operating room, you can only get so much straightening of their spine at one time in a safe manner. Putting a child in a halo helps you achieve a safer, greater correction than if you were to try and do it all in one go in the operating room.
I lived in the hospital for a couple months with my halo, and I just remember having so much fun. Sometimes you remember the bad points, but I mostly remember all the good times. It was such a fun summer when it normally wouldn't be, but it was really fun, actually.
So that was the start of my journey and Mia's journey in our life with Shriners Hospital, which has been nothing but a blessing since then.
During those years, it was about 17 surgeries total, and I was probably 12 or 13. I had my last surgery and I had my fusion, so I'm all done with surgeries. The people at Shriners are amazing. Every single nurse or doctor I have encountered is a really good person, and it's just a really kind environment. Surgery was always actually an enjoyable experience. I loved going to the hospital and getting ready to go in surgery because I got to talk to all my caregivers, and especially Joetta. She's like a grandmother to me. She's been there for as long as I can remember.
Mia was a little bitty thing when we first saw her. and I've watched her grow through the years into a beautiful young lady. She and Amy and I hit it off from day one.
I was getting the best surgeon I could possibly get for my daughter. It's a feeling that swells your heart and overwhelms you.
Kids can be interesting in school, middle school especially. You start in locker rooms and everything, and you get some stares when you have a big back scar and some questions. You kind of get used to it, and I almost think of a scar as like a souvenir. I've been on a really long journey, and I couldn't just buy it, you know? It's really interesting that a scar on your body could tell so many different stories.
She started to love music and singing, probably by age 4. By 3rd grade, she had her first singing teacher and was getting singing lessons because she just loved it so much, because she could express herself through music.
And when I came to middle school in 6th grade, I noticed they had musicals, so I decided to try out.
She came and auditioned for one of our productions for the theater company we run, and ever since, we've been hooked on her.
I've done probably about 10 big shows, and you make just a lot of really, really beautiful memories.
We have a non-for-profit arts group called Arts for Life, and they give out performance awards. So up against about 1,500 performers, and she won for Best Outstanding Youth Performer. First time out of the gate.
Yeah.
So.
I remember seeing her on stage for the first time in a performance. I always knew that she could sing, but when I saw her on stage and she became that role that she was playing, I was really taken aback. I had no idea that she was that talented. You know, whatever that it is, she definitely has it.
The most amazing thing about Mia is that she puts her whole self into her artistry. And for someone so young to have all of that and the ability to make us as audience members feel an emotional connection with what she's portraying is really something extraordinary and phenomenal.
Mia has a presence on stage that we call that X Factor, and it's always hard to identify and it's always hard to find, but when you see someone on stage that has that X Factor, you're pulled to the edge of your seat. Talent gets you into the room, but the resilience and the perseverance that you have as your work ethic is what will take you further, and that's really something that I see in Mia every day.
I've filmed a lot of commercials in the past as Shriners. It's really awesome to be able to put my performing into raising awareness as well. It reaches so many people and it's brought in a lot of money for us. It just makes me feel really good to know that I have helped in some way.
It's her hospital. It's another home to her. It's her family, and she gets to express that. She gets to share that through the TV, and it gets to reach everyone nationwide. That's one of her favorite things because it reaches so many people.
I was at the hospital, and Kelly Hansen, the lead singer of Foreigner, came to visit all of us. And I actually became quite close with him. 10 years later, I was actually sent out to Tampa to film the I Want to Know What Love Is, PSA, and I got to see Kelly again. He came up to me and he was like, I remember you, I met you 10 years ago, and it's so crazy that a celebrity who meets so many people would remember a little kid he played air hockey with. It was awesome. This is definitely unexpected. I thought my medical story would just be scoliosis and I'd be done.
Last fall, my husband and myself, we noticed that she had a nodule on her neck.
And we thought it would just be hypothyroidism because that's what my mom had.
She had lab work done, and so when we got to the endocrinologist, she said, yes, your thyroid labs are elevated, your ultrasound shows that you have tumors in there, you need more testing done. Some of them are large enough that say that you need to go see a surgeon.
And when they tested it and checked it, it was true that I did have thyroid cancer.
Getting that call was probably one of the worst, things a parent could ever imagine. The first reaction everybody had was, "You got to be kidding me." Like some kind of a cruel joke or something.
I can't believe this. This kid's been through enough. We've already had 17 surgeries on her back.
I have to do a few more treatments, but that's okay. That's life. It's definitely taught me I'm not invincible. I always had this mindset that I've been through such a long story that I don't need to go through anything else. But I know that happened for a reason. It's taught me a lot, and I've taken a lot of emotions out of it that I hope to use in the future.
She's had to fight a lot in her life. She's never been the kind of kid that gave up and said, "Oh, well, she's got this." She's not going to let anything beat her. And at the other end of it, she's going to be even stronger for it.
We're not given more than we can handle. Sometimes you think you are at the moment, but she's handled it all. I think Shriners helped her gain some of that strength through all that she went through as a patient here. I'm very proud of her and the way she handles situations. She just takes them like a champ.
Shriners is just such a hopeful environment. It's become another home to me. And I don't think I could ever say that about a hospital or really any other place.
You weren't walking into such a large hospital that you felt like you were another number or felt like you were just a patient, but you felt like you were becoming part of something bigger than yourself.
They did their best to make sure you felt like you were a part of a family. And that meant a lot.
I have a lot of appreciation for those people. They come in and day out and help out the kids who need it the most, and always give a level of care that exceeds any expectation of any parent. Through Shriners, they helped my sister establish a life that is much better than it would have been.
I'm proud of her. It's amazing because she has been put through a ringer, and she has taken every lick that it has brought and makes her stronger. And I think that the grit that she has shown through this is really what makes her special.
I think what's inspiring is just the ability to get back up and keep going and push for your dreams still.
She has it, and if she keeps going, she'll go far.
To be a part of helping somebody else find their dreams is an incredible privilege, and I'm so honored that I get to be a part of her dream.
And I look up to her, and I want to be as tough as she is and talented as she is. I work to achieve that same level of success that she has.
Mia's probably the strongest person I know. From the moment she was born, she had a spark about her. No matter what she's dealing with, no matter what kind of problems that she has or things that she's going through, her heart always goes out to other people. I would say she's made me a better person.
More than words can express. I love her with all my heart. She's just a wonderful person. She's so intelligent. She's a good student. And she's one of my best friends, and I just love her to pieces. Just absolutely love her.
I want to be known as the girl who overcame everything. And being able to use my talent for some good, I want people to think, wow, anybody can do it then. I don't think I'd be as happy of a person if I wasn't with Shriners. It's a huge part of my life, and without it, I think I'd probably be a little bit lost. So I guess I would just want to inspire more people to follow their dreams. Because I feel like the world would be a happier place if people were doing what they loved.
What's up, everyone? My name is Aaron. I'm going to be your MC for today for the Livermore Valley Craft Beer Foundation's WeCanCollab 2021 event. The beautiful thing about this event today, we're going to have a lot of fun, I promise you, guaranteed. But the beautiful thing is that all of the contributions from today are going to benefit the Shriners Hospital's Transportation Fund, which you just saw Mia telling her story. We got to learn about the benefits of where these funds go. I do want to introduce to you all somebody extremely special and important. You know, I'm a newbie to the craft beer world, but we have here someone who's been in the game since 1996, been here in the Bay Area as a brewer, as a beer judge. She's the owner of the Good Hop in Oakland. That's been open since 2014. Can we put our hands together for Melissa Myers, ladies and gentlemen? Come on. Melissa, tell us what we're gonna get into today.
Aaron, man, it's nice to hang out with you today.
For sure.
All right, so we've got, hopefully you guys all have a box in front of you, or maybe it's, more importantly, it's in the fridge with a bunch of beers in it. We're gonna go through the beers in the box today and taste some of them with you. You guys are gonna get some more information about them. We've got some cool brewer interviews and some judging information about them. And I just wanna give a huge shout out right now. The Good Hop has been a community spot for a long time, and most importantly, a community spot for women. So much like this fest, it's online right now, and we have been closed for a year, and so we're starting to get back into some normalcy and hoping to be able to let people back into the Good Hop for all the things that we like it for, and also to be able to go to festivals like this in person next year.
Real quick, you know, I just want to say, you know, thank you for being an icon and someone who really was like a pioneer, bringing women into the brewery world and being a leader, and then making that safe space. Thanks, I mean, that's huge, and even today, you know, it's really important that women have a place in this industry. So it's really cool to have that.
Cheers.
So yeah, cheers.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's start drinking some beer.
Yeah, let's go. Come on. So what we have coming up here is we've got ourselves an interview coming up.
Yeah.
For this first beer collab. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what we got going up here?
Yeah. So this is the first one that we're trying. It is the Evil Brother, which is an IPL, and you'll hear more about that in the chat that I did with the brewers. This is with East Brother Beer Company and Heretic. And I'll let them go ahead and chat about it and tell you all about it.
All right, let's take a look at that video.
Alrighty, so we've got another collab here today. We've got East Brother Beer Company and Heretic. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and then we'll jump right into the beers.
Cool. Nice to see you, Melissa.
Thanks for
doing this all day long. You've got the toughest job today. Yeah, Rob Leitner, East Brother Beer Company. We're in Richmond. We collaborated with Heretic in Fairfield. They can't be here today, but we're super excited to work with Heretic. We've respected them and learned from them for years and years. And
nice.
This is actually our first collab. We've never done an actual collab.
Ever. First collab ever is East Brother.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a million times, but it's like, oh, so busy, whatever.
Right.
But this is such a great event and such a great, a fundraiser. It's a way to bring people together as collabs do. And in this time of, when we're all limited out here into what we can do, it's a great way to do it. So yeah, we collaborated with Heretic. Heretic is known for, I think they do a lot of beers. They do them very well. I think some of their best beers are hoppy beers. They've got some juicy IPA. They've got like Evil Cousin, Evil Twin. They've been doing for years.
Right.
We do a number of different beers, but I think we're more. We sell more lagers, and we tend toward lagers. We got a couple lagers in our core lineup, and we do seasonal lagers as well. So we go, all right, hoppy, lager, what are we gonna do? Hoppy lager.
Mix them together, yeah.
IPL,
of course.
India Pale Lager. And it's not a style I don't think you see very much.
True.
But it's a pretty cool style. I think it hits a lot of notes for today's market.
Well, let's talk about that style a little bit, right? Like everybody knows IPA. The A in there stands for ale, right? So you change the yeast up, you turn it into a lager. Means you're going to age it a little bit longer. It's probably going to be a little bit lighter.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
All those things. Yeah. So I think we probably fermented it, or the entire thing took probably 5 weeks maybe total,
Okay.
5, maybe even 6 weeks. We let it sit a little bit longer to try to clarify it a little bit. It actually came out pretty hazy, which is totally fine in this market, right?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great combination. So it's got we put Galaxy and Columbus, so
Okay.
a little old school, a little new school. A little citrus, a little of the mango and the stone fruit, and passion fruit. Everyone gets different things from the same beer, but it's got that beautiful hoppiness. It's got a good malt backbone because most of the malt we used was Pilsner malt.
Okay.
And then we used White Lab's 830, German lager yeast.
Okay.
And so it's got that malty backbone, but then it has that lager snap on the finish. So its finish is super clean. And again, I think it hits a lot of notes. It gives you the hoppiness, but it also gives you, it's very drinkable as well.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
And
so
I will say that you're seeing our beer.
I was going to say, this is not what will be in the box.
I'll say that we are better at collaborating on beer than actually remembering to make sure our beer is here for the event.
Fair. That's fair.
So we'll sip on our beer, which is a Pilsner, which is our best-selling beer.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the IPL.
Right. And then, so this is one of your beers. You can find it on many shelves, but in the box, the actual box, we'll see a little bit different styling on that, different name of a beer.
Yes. So we called it. So we brewed it. Heretic has a 30-barrel system.
So you brewed it at Heretic.
We brewed it at
Okay.
Heretic. Yeah. So it's available through this event, and then there's some available in the Heretic tap room as well. But it was brewed. They have a 30-barrel system, but we did it on their new small batch system called Evil Junior. Cute little guy.
Right.
It's like a 5-barrel system. And then we called it, so they have, again, Evil Twin, Evil Cousin. Their system is Evil Junior, and we're his brother, so we called it Evil Brother.
Right on.
Yeah, it was kind of a neat little combination of the two.
Sweet. Awesome. And so you said this was your first collab, right? So you guys all went over there.
Yep.
And worked through it.
Yep.
Hanging out at a different brewery. We've talked a little bit about collabs before and what they're like, and mostly it's a really good time to come together and talk about beer in an extensive way, more than anybody really wants to hear but a brewer.
Yeah. It's funny. The brewers are, there's the brewing part, but it's almost like the planning. Mm-hmm. We spent a lot of time doing that. A lot of emails going back and forth, a couple phone calls, kind of talking through what we wanted to do. But then on the brew day, there's the ceremonial putting in of the hops and the photo ops and everything. But I found the value of it was, it sounds kind of cliche, but it was like bringing people together. We're also busy all the time. I mean, as I said, when we were planning our brewery, we spent a lot of time. Jamil Zainasheff, the founder of Heretic, has been doing, he's written books, he does a million podcasts, and so we learned a ton. So we were just like, Heretic was one of our heroes, like the ones like our mentors. And so to be able to work with them was just amazing. And we got to spend, a couple afternoons, mornings and afternoons, brewing the beer, canning the beer, and just, shooting the breeze and exchanging stories and learning and really just developing friendships. So, that's, again, it's kind of cliche, but like beer totally brings people together,
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the collab is you're not necessarily in the trenches scooping it out, maybe a little bit, but like it's what you talk about. Like it's the planning, it's actually being like at the brewery, we're like, oh, where did you get that? I've been looking at that filler, or I've been looking at that, those pumps or whatever. And so it's a chance that we don't all get when we're all at our own spot, not getting to like share information so much.
I was like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, look at that, oh, look at that, look at that, woohoo! Like,
Right? You're
we
like,
came
I love
back,
this.
we're like, okay, we got all these things we got to think about.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Rob, it's been super, super nice to chat with you. I'm glad I got to share with the Bo Pills, and I can't wait to try that IPL lager when it comes out.
It's super good. Thank you, Melissa.
Cheers, man.
Nice to see you again.
Cheers. So that was our first interview. We did actually wanted to take a quick second and highlight, for those of you that got a box, this is the actual can. So you can actually see what we've got here. It's the Evil Brother. This is actually a really innovative design. If you look in the back of it, it's got the H for Heretic and it's got the B for East Brother. So we're really excited about this can, about this artwork. And what are we gonna do now?
All right, so not only do you get to watch videos and interviews with me, but we're gonna have some judges tell you what you should be tasting. And that is up next, so let's check it out.
Hi, I'm Brian Cooper, founder of the Mad Zymergists, and also I'm a Grandmaster beer judge and a co-host of the Brewing Network podcast, Dr. Homebrew. We're here to talk about some beers. Along with me is my good friend John. I'll let him introduce himself.
I am John Kerber. I am a founding member of the Mad Zymergus. I'm also a nationally ranked beer judge and a home brewer. We're excited to be here, taste these beers, give you guys some tasting notes, tell you our impressions of these beers, and hope you all have a great time.
All right.
Let's get started.
All right.
I'm going to pour this delicious-looking India Pale Ale from East Brothers and Heretic.
Wasn't this an India Pale Lager?
India Pale Lager. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, we're talking about a German Pils base. It's got some Pils and Munich malts in it. You can read on the label there on the...
Well, I had one complaint. The label's printed in red and black, and I can't read red and black. But it's a beautiful label all the same. Cheers.
Cheers. Well, the hops are right up front there in the nose, I think, for sure. That's...
Get that lovely juicy orange character to it.
Fruit zest, citrus zest, yeah.
Not as diesely or catty as some people say when it comes to the Simcoe hops, but...
Yeah, not getting a big a pininess in there, super pungent. Nice restraint with this the Simcoe. That can take over sometimes, but this one's blending nicely with the Galaxy.
Let's give it a taste.
I get the soft background of that. It's I think all the fruitiness is coming from the hops, and it's a nice, a dry finish, like a crisp lager background, and
the malt is just. It's there. It's hiding in the background. It's got that light crackery taste to it.
Right.
That Pilsner malt
Crackery
crispness.
Malt. Not super rich.
It's good.
The beer's got a little haze to it here. We've got it probably intentional, I'm sure. A nice, kind of a yellow gold color with a moderate haze. Throws up a good whitish head and sticks around a good while. That's something the judge looks for, right?
Quite often. Although we would want this to be clear if we were really judging this.
If we were judging this as an IPA, you can have some haze even in a regular
Some of these
American.
beers were on a little bit of a hurry schedule so that they could be ready for all these wonderful tasters to enjoy.
I don't think we're saying they hurried this along, but I think it tastes like it's been lagered nicely. And to make a lager, you can turn an ale in a matter of just a week or a number of days. Lagers, you need to sit them down in the secondary tank for a while and age them until they get that clean character. You're fermenting at a lower temperature and all that, so it's
definitely
nicely done with the lager. I'm enjoying this beer.
Beautiful citrus characters, German Pilsner style with an American hop schedule on top.
With a name like Evil Brother, you really can't go wrong. That's classic. Like for the collab between those two, I know East Brother does some really good classic styles. Heretic likes to twist things in an evil way. Jamil's always getting crazy there. And boy, yeah, this is a great local collab. Thank you guys.
Cheers to everybody.
Cheers to the brewers and cheers to all of you guys.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. Just a side note, the judge's shirt did have red letters on a black shirt, but whatever, who's counting? Welcome back. Oh, man, we're having some fun here. We love that Evil Brother. I really like the way that went down. That was nice and smooth for me. I enjoyed it. Yeah. This next video that we've got, we're gonna take a look at the Livermore Craft Beer Foundation's promo video to show you all what the festivals have been like in the past. This has taken off. What's crazy thing about this festival, Melissa, is that they've been able to raise over $150,000 for the Shriners Transportation Fund. And that's crazy because what happens is they're able to get families, children and families, transportation to and from the hospital for all those medical needs. So you ready to watch this video?
Let's see a fest.
All right, let's do it. Yes, those were all kinds of fun. Those are ways to party out. Those are the Livermore Valley Craft Beer Foundation festivals. We're hoping to get back to those real soon.
Dude,
really...
I miss having beers with people in fields.
Oh man, that's gonna be so much fun.
Or parks.
You know, trucks that have taps on them,
Yeah.
not just cans. So excited to get back to that.
For sure.
Hey, up next, we've got ourselves another collaboration. You want to tell us about it, Melissa?
Yeah, so we're looking at beer from Four Legs, which is a pretty new brewery, and a collab with them and Epidemic Ales. They call this beer Rude Dog, which is kind of a nice mix-up of their names and their concepts. It's a hazy IPA, and let's go check out what the interview was like.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so we got another collab up. We got Four Legs Brewing and Epidemic Ales. Why don't you go and introduce yourself?
I'm Kyle McGarry, head brewer at Four Legs Brewing Company. We've only been open about a month. I think this really, if it would have been at our place, it would have been our 7th batch. So
Nice, a month, so still pandemic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Still just kicking it new. Good for you.
Oh yeah, killer timing.
So a month, so how long have you been in planning then?
My 2 partners have been in planning for probably 2.5 years. They brought me onto the project in November. So my first day was tank landing day, and through the rest of build out. Yeah, feel like we made pretty good time, being 6 months or so.
Right.
Yeah. Opened the doors, 4 beers. Well, the first 4 beers. We were running city water for the first couple, and before we got our RO system in, that backtracked us a little bit. So no light lagers yet, but
in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nice. Right on. All right, from Epidemic, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Sean Hammer. I'm the head brewer for Epidemic Ales. Been around for 5 years now.
Okay.
Been rolling with the punches through the pandemic here.
Right.
Luckily got to keep our outdoor space and are excited for June 15th when things are supposedly opening back up.
Magically be totally normal again, like this never happened.
Yep.
Right on, so you guys came together to collab. Sounds like you probably did it at Epidemic since you literally just opened.
I just opened, and I lack a canning line at the moment.
Right.
So it was definitely an easy decision there.
Cool. So yeah, let's talk about what we're drinking here. What's the style? Tell me how you guys came about it.
We did a hazy IPA. We were bouncing a bunch of stuff around. Ended up going Idaho 7, Simcoe, Cryo Simcoe, and actually had a touch of a flaked rye in there just to make it a little different.
Yeah, get a little bit like spiciness out of the body, and then balance it out with a little bit of bitterness from the Simcoe.
Yeah, no, that's nice. It's good on this, heavy on the Simcoe there.
Heavy Simcoe.
Yeah. Well, sweet. So obviously you guys knew I'm assuming you knew each other before.
Yeah. We used to brew together at EJ Fair.
Okay.
I think we met when I was still a Black Diamond.
Yeah.
But
oh, dang, yeah.
We started working together at EJ Fair, and he split off to Epidemic, and I split off to Morgan Territory previous to being at Four Legs. And,
you do like an EJ Fair alumni party, and it'd be like
right. It would be like every
the jumping off, the awesome place to jump off, right, for brewers to land somewhere.
That would actually be a great party. An old EJ.
We'll do like a mass collaboration event with that.
There would definitely be a few breweries in there.
Right. Well, sweet. I mean, this beer is fantastic. Like, Simcoe's super upfront on that, all the way through. And you guys got, like, let's talk about the label a little bit, because I feel like there's some good stuff in there.
Oh yeah.
Right? A nice collaboration of both of you guys?
Yeah, we're definitely both very dog-friendly breweries, especially, I mean, being the namesake, being Four Legs. Yeah, the idea for the name and label actually came out of the Epidemic camp, and we were just stoked with it off the bat, so.
Our owner, Holly, has a wiener dog named Cosmo, and he loves to bark at everybody, especially when he doesn't know them, or just especially our bartender, Carlo, who's actually the graphic designer.
Oh, so, nice. I would say that's the least dead label that I've seen Epidemic put out.
Right.
Yeah, this is fantastic. You guys planning some more collabs together?
Yeah, we're gonna get them over to my spot, and I think we're thinking about doing an IPO.
Yep.
So we're kind of in process of getting that together.
It's kind of where this one started. It started as summer IPL, and then slowly phased into a hazy through just demand and everything. So.
I mean, that's part of the collab, right? You work your way through it. lots of talk up front before you actually make it, and
Oh yeah, it always
gives you a
always
chance to
takes
work
way
through it.
longer than the brewers really care to admit.
The day, yeah, than the day of. Well, right on, you guys. Thank you so much for sharing this beer. It's
Thank you.
super tasty.
Cheers.
Nice
Cheers.
aging. Cheers, guys.
All right, it was good to see that collab, and shout out to all of our animal lovers out there. We got an animal lover collab. You know, I mean, there's nothing but good things. I heard you guys allow animals. at the
Good Hop is super dog friendly. We, I mean, we're inside, but as long as your dog plays nicely, and we feel that same way about the customers.
Oh, the customers too.
You got to play nicely.
Dogs and customers.
Yep.
Well, hey, we want to see what the judges have to say. Let's take a look at the judge video here.
So hey, we're back, or maybe we're just starting, depending on where you came in on this. But I want to introduce a buddy of mine. This is Tim Murray. He's in the Club Doze with me along, well, you're not in Mad Zymergers, you're just in the Doze. But tell the folks a little about yourself.
Yeah, hey everyone, Tim Murray. I am a member of the Doze Homebrew Club. I've been a homebrewer for 6 or 7 years now, actually a little bit longer than that if you go back to my first ever starter kit that I brewed on my stovetop at home and proceeded to make terrible beer, but have since improved drastically. Certified beer judge for the past couple of years, and am trying to make my way towards national. Retook the exam with John last fall, and am looking forward to getting back to judging more competitions as we make our way out of COVID and progressing towards national. So
we're gonna try this fine beer here by Epidemic and Four Legs Brewing. It's called Rude Dog. It's a hazy IPA. We had a little pour here just to kind of let it breathe, and I'm going to give us a little fresh pour. This one's an interesting one. They've got 4 different hops in here, Tim. They got Idaho 7, Amarillo, or 3, I'm sorry, and a cryo-hopped Simcoe. So
yeah.
I don't know if you've brewed with cryo hops before, but they're pretty amazing.
I have, and actually, I mean, when you first take a whiff of this beer, you definitely get the Simcoe, that kind of dank, diesel-y nature of Simcoe.
Caddy, diesel-y, super piney, very floral. It's just coming out. It's rolling out of this glass into my nasal passages. It's delicious.
But then I too get a little bit of that sort of peach, stone fruit, maybe some of the hop aromas there mixing with some of the esters from the yeast. Most of the yeast that get used, we don't have notes on what particular yeast was used for this beer, but generally the yeast used for these hazy beers do throw off some of kind of those stone fruit and peachy esters. And I really dig that in these beers.
That's totally what this is, I believe. And that Idaho 7 has almost like a berry character to it. Let's give it a taste. Refreshing. It's not too malty, but there's enough malt to carry this thing through across your palate. Hops are bold, piney, resiny, but again, it's a nice harmonious blend. What do you think about the orangey, citrusy stuff going on in there?
Interestingly, too, I mean, a lot of times these hazy IPAs can just be completely void of bitterness, but this one's definitely got some bitterness, and in the back end, you really get it on the back of your tongue when you're tasting it, and I like that. I think it adds to the structure of the beer and kind of helps a little bit with the mouthfeel as well.
I think the participants in this event, and thanks again everyone for pitching in and helping the foundation and Livermore Craft Brew Fest WeCanCollab, raise money for our charities. This is a great thing. You're gonna like this. Try it out.
All right. Thank you, judges, for that deep and wellspring of knowledge. We appreciate all that they're doing, those judges, man. Locating all of the sides on that. There was many, many sides.
There was. We got a lot of flavors and a lot of aroma out of this one.
Yeah, totally. So this next thing that we're going to do here is give a little shout out to one of our partners. This wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for sponsors. And this is a very special sponsor. Do you want to talk a little bit about them?
Yeah, Altamont has been super in the industry for a long time, and during this last year we all had to pivot a little bit, and instead of coming to our bars and drinking, we started cramming beers in boxes and shipping them directly to you guys. So this is a little promo from Altamont about like how they're getting beers to you guys and cool things they do that way.
There you go. Let's take a look. Thank you so much, Altamont, for all you are doing to support what we're doing here at the foundation. There's so many good things happening because of this, and you know, it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Altamont. This next brewer collab that we've got is pretty special. I mean, this one actually kind of hit me. The concept of this,
yeah,
and just the epic nature of what's going on with these two breweries. You want to tell us a little bit about?
Yeah, and then I mean, I think it reflects what's going on in the world, right? So these two guys got together, and this beer is called Breathing Conversations, and you'll get to hear more in depth about it. But it's just, they took it a little bit farther. It wasn't just making a beer. It was talking about some conversations that we don't normally have, or maybe it's a conversation you have at a bar. And because we are not getting to go to bars right now, you get to have these deeper conversations, hopefully sparked through a bottle and a label, and their awesome concept. So why don't we go hear from them?
Yeah, let's learn from them.
All right.
Hi, I'm Melissa Myers, and I own the Good Hop Bar and Bottle Shop in Oakland, California. Today we're celebrating the Livermore Craft Beer Festival. We've got a bunch of brewers, tons of collabs. We're going to roll a bunch of people through today and get to chat with them, find out more about the beers, and pick their brains. So first up, we're going to chat with these guys over here, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Yes, thank you, Melissa. Yeah, so my name is Mario Benjamin from Hello Postal Brewing Company. My partner Chaz Hubbard couldn't make it, but we're growing to be the first black-owned brewery in Oakland.
Right on.
We're collabing with so many different breweries. It's been a blessing to actually align ourselves up with a lot of these breweries, and we're really looking forward to what the future has in store for us. And luckily, we're able to do a very special collaboration with Alex and Jay from Rare Barrel.
Right on. Alex, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. I'm Alex from the Rare Barrel. It's great to be here at the Good Hop.
Yeah.
At the Rare Barrel, we brew specifically barrel-aged sour beer.
Okay.
So our beers have aged in oak for anywhere from 6 months to a year, often have fruit in them. And we've been around since 2013. We've got a tasting room, outdoor patio, and a restaurant too.
Sweet. Well, I noticed you guys are starting to do cans too, but today we're going to talk about a collaboration that you're putting in a bottle. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about this beer?
Yeah. So we did the collab at the Rare Barrel. What we did is, from the Rare Barrel side of things, we barrel aged the beer, and then Chaz and Mario from Hello Coastal came in and used their pallets to blend.
Yeah. And so they used their base, their golden sour.
Okay.
And then we had several sessions where we sat down, not only drinking beer and coming up with the right mix that reflects what Breathing Conversation is about, which was really started by Finback in Brooklyn, or in the East Coast. And throughout, I think it was like 4 to 5 sessions, we were able to come up with the blend that has apricot pits and nectarine pits. So you get like this word I can never pronounce, but
the noyau.
The noyau,
Yeah, the pits were cling pits. So you have the pit inside the fruit, but it still has a bunch of the fruit clinging to it. So you get the nectarine and the juicy parts of the nectarine fruit, but then inside that pit is this little almond type thing called a noyau, and it has this almond character that's kind of like amaretto, something like that. So in this beer, you get like a light acidity, you get some juicy apricot and nectarine, and then like a hint of almond amaretto to go with it too.
Yeah.
Right. So are you guys actually cracking the pits open to get that, or
No,
is it just it kind of comes from what's attached to the outside of the pit?
Yeah, it just sits in there for months. Probably like the pits are with the fruit. We're probably in there for about 5 to 6 months.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. A little bit a different take, right? Not just the meat of the fruit, but the actual you're using.
Yeah,
the whole
slightly
fruit.
different take. It adds just another layer to the complexity of the flavors.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so when you had said that you guys did a couple of sessions, right? It was like 4 or 5 blending sessions. So what does that look like when you do a blending session? Is it like what's sitting in front of you? How do you blend? Like how do you come up with the final product?
Yeah. It seemed like that. Considering how we wanted to have this beer come out. They have like a very large selection of sours that they can pick from, and we can actually do like a mixing session in flask.
Oh, cool.
And with that, we also was just breaking down like what this is going to mean.
Right.
So it was like a journey. You know, It was a journey starting from something light to something very robust and very tart, to something that came right to the middle, where my wife, she's not a beer drinker, but she loves this beer.
Right on.
Yeah. And it's kind of like I'd say like kind of what we did, like if you're into painting at all or anything, we kind of brought out the barrels, which are like your different oils that you might paint with, and brought out the palette, and then we kind of gave them to Mario and Chaz. Like, all right, now you guys pick which colors to paint with and like what we want to do with this. So we intentionally kind of took a step back from the blending to let Chaz and Mario come in because they have two unique palettes that are different from what we're normally blending.
Right.
And I think that's one of the beautiful things about this collab is kind of like, what are you guys into? Like, what flavors are you guys into over at Hella Coastal?
Well, sweet. We've been talking about it. Let's walk us through the aroma and the flavor profile that we're getting out of this.
Yeah. So in the aroma, I'm getting like juicy nectarine.
Yeah.
A hint of lemon, and a hint of Brett too. Just like a hint of earthiness.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Anything else in there?
I mean, of course. I mean, by being the apricot, the apricot pits. Yeah, I mean, I get the hint of apricots as well.
Oh yeah, like in the flavor, it just tastes like juicy dried apricots. You know, like the apricots that aren't so dried out, but they still have a little bit of flavor in it.
Yeah.
This is light and delightful. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So actually, let's talk about the label and the concept behind your collab. Like we just talked about the beer flavor, so let's talk about that label because it's really interesting.
Yeah, so it started, our friends out at Finback, Anthony started this collab called Breathing Conversations, and he was inspired to drive change in the beer industry and allow us to use our voice when it comes to social injustice, inequality, and race.
Cool.
And so the point of the Breathing Conversations collaboration is to partner with another brewery, talk about race, social injustice, equality, and then take what you've learned and put it on the label for our customers to continue the conversation.
Nice, nice. So yeah, I think you guys have 3 different labels. Is that correct?
Yeah.
In this, with this collab, right?
Yeah, in the series, we have Rosa Parks, we have James Baldwin, and then Martin Luther King.
Okay.
And for each label, they have different prompts. One was based off the conversation that we had through those sessions, and then the prompt is actually a quote that applies to the prompt or that we chose that will almost align with the conversation that we were having. So it really like gets someone, just really getting them to spark their not just drinking it, but at least if you're sitting at a table, you can start thinking like, oh, what do you think about this? Or have you ever experienced something like this?
Right.
So it was something that was very deeply important for Chaz and I, and the team from Rare Barrel for us to be part of this. Was like, and then also what it went to. Every collaboration that we're doing, it goes to some organization that means something to us in the community.
Right.
And it's just
that's
been
awesome.
a beautiful thing.
I absolutely love this concept. We all have so much on our minds, right? And it's been a long year in every way, and it's conversations that I think we've all needed to have for a long time. In the brewing industry, we all talk about beer forever. We can talk about beer forever in any way, but it's great to actually start bringing in some deeper other parts of it. It is beer; it brings us all together. It always has, but to actually push some conversations that we might not normally have.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And these conversations can be tough to have too. So, the idea is like have the beer, loosen up a little bit, and ask the questions to your friends who are on here.
Right.
And the choice is yours to have the conversation.
Right.
We realized like as a brewery, we each have a voice as a brewery with a community, and we wanted to use this voice to spark the conversation and also be allies, because Hella Coastal, you guys are the first all-black owned brewery in Oakland, California, and that's awesome. And we, as a fellow brewery in the city right over, have the opportunity to be your ally as you guys are starting out.
Yes, and that's one thing that we found out within being in the beer community, and the reason why we took the step to actually start our own brewery is that community by itself. We love drinking beer and loving aligning ourselves with different breweries as far as, patronizing them. But we realized that, we just sometimes didn't feel like we were in the right place because we didn't feel welcome.
Right.
So one thing that we realized that as far as internally, when it comes to beer ownership or, having that control, we noticed that the beer industry, as far as the owners, they're very open armed. You know,
Right.
we've been able to get aligned with a lot of our allies, and yeah, we just feel blessed.
Right? I mean, we've got so many different kinds of beers that everybody makes. It's good to diversify the rest of it too, you know, bring in all the people. Well, cool. I want to thank you guys. This beer is fantastic, and it was really nice to chat with you guys. And I want to thank you for being a part of this.
Yeah. Thanks,
Cheers,
Melissa.
guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Man, I love that concept. Like, I love what they're doing. And, you know, it is a time to have these conversations. And I'm excited that we've got folks from different ethnicities, folks from different genders, folks from different backgrounds sitting down. I mean, it's how things happen, right? We sit down, we have a beer, we talk, we connect, and then we grow, right? And the only way we can grow is to have the combo, yeah?
Absolutely. You know, and maybe having a beer while you're having that conversation allows you to dig a little deeper or spread a little farther, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's what we do at bars all the time.
I love it. I love it. And it's a great beer, right? It's a great beer. It's
fantastic.
Yeah, it actually, it's got all kinds of notes to it, man. And the way it went down, we were just talking about how it's like the smell, the taste, and then the aftertaste, you know. I just love what they're doing. And shout out to Hella Coastal, man, for coming on board, you know.
Dude, I'm
really
so
excited to see
stoked.
it.
I can't wait for them to get their brewery open.
Let's
It's
do
gonna
it.
be awesome.
All right, so next up, we would like to thank one of our curators for the Tri-Valley Beer Trail. It's the actual Visit Tri-Valley organization. They have put together what they call the Tri-Valley Beer Trail, and they are the ones who are actually helping to promote and make it easy for people to access the different breweries in the Tri-Valley. So let's take a look at a video from them. All right, thank you so much, Visit Tri-Valley. We're excited to work with you. Thank you for your sponsorship and for working with us. Next up, we got ourselves another collaboration.
Oh, yeah?
This one looks fun. This one looks fun.
These
Tell
guys
us
were
about
super fun to interview. They were just, you know, big energy. They've been to the Good Hop a bunch, both of them separately. I don't know, the can, we were talking about the can. And
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, push the A's, make sure you know that this is where we are, you know?
Shout out to Oakland A's. If you need somebody in the stands, I guess these guys are ready
Right?
for it.
So yeah, let's go check out what they have to say about their beer, and we'll drink the beer while they do that.
Let's do that.
All right, man.
Oh,
Hey guys.
hello. How's it going?
So we got Oakland United and Alameda Island here.
Yes.
Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves, and let's start talking about some beers.
I'm Ralph, I'm a brewer from Oakland United. Yeah, I've been working there for a long time, ever since we got open, and the Linden Street days before. But yeah, here to talk about some beer.
Right on.
Yeah, my name is Richard. I'm the head brewer over at Alameda Island. I've been there now for the past 2.5 years, about a year and a half-ish as head brewer. Definitely had to learn all of that during the pandemic, which has been fun, but yeah, I'm excited, and I'm still stoked to be in this industry right now. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the beer you guys did for this, for the Livermore Craft Beer Festival. You guys did a collab. You want to tell me about the style first?
Yeah, so we did a just classic American Pale Ale. We're both big Ace fans, big baseball fans, and we wanted something with a little bit of depth, a little bit of character, but something you could still crush in the parking lot before the game, or even sneak a beer into the stands.
Right.
So yeah, we figured
Nobody does that.
Nobody
Nobody
does
does
beers,
that.
So that was kind of the basis for it. But yeah. Yeah, well, just really excited to do it. Like, I've known Ralph for a couple of years now. I used to contract brew his former boss's beer. We have a complicated story, but it's lovely. So A checkered past. A checkered past, but
All
it's
right.
great though, because I think that's what makes craft beer in Oakland and the Bay Area so much fun. Is that there's just so much just like cross pollination. That we gotta have fun and we just see our friends. So like being able to when I got hit up from the Livermore Valley Craft Beer Festival to do this collab, the first person I thought of was Ralph, because we've been talking about it. I feel like all during the pandemic was like, we need to do a beer together. Yeah, So exactly. This got thrown to us. The timing was perfect, and we brewed it on an opening day. It was like, we have to make it A's related. It has to be baseball related.
Right, if you can't go to the parking lot and party your ass off before the game, you might as well just make a beer.
Quote unquote, you can't. Yeah, so.
Well, Richard matched in about 5 a.m. so he could make it to
Oh,
the
yeah, it was
opening
very
day.
much like.
He actually made it to the parking
I
lot.
feel like this was the perfect. Yeah, this was like the perfect like collab project where one brewery kind of does everything. I got in early because I wanted to be for opening day, so it was like, oh, just show up when you show up. It'll be great. It'll be
Right.
fun, so yeah.
We help with runoff, we help with bitter hops, you know.
Yeah.
But that's collab.
He helped me grain out. He helped me grain out.
Thinking the
so-
idea together. You know,
Totally.
you make it, you know, however you want to make
So
it.
yeah.
Well, tell us, because this is a hoppy beer, tell us what hops are in here.
So yeah, we used Comet, Simcoe, and Citra in it. We were really going for it's like a classic West Coast style pale ale. We really wanted it to be nice and bright. Yeah, that's kind of our hops on that beer. You know, kept it new school enough, but kept it a nice firm bittering backbone behind it to make it, you know, to make you think that you're drinking a pale ale. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
We wanted some hops in that beer to just still shine through.
This is great. It's super easy to drink.
Yeah, came out
It's really
great.
bright. It's got some nice hops in it.
Going for tailgate beers.
Yeah, exactly.
We
Like
wanted a
you said.
tailgate beer. I was hoping I did it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I suspect it'll probably go pretty well with an Underberg.
Yeah? I suspect so much.
Yeah. I feel this beer is like, it's supposed to be paired with an Underberg. Like it's a beer and a shot type of drink, and I feel being in the Bay Area and specifically Oakland long enough, there's not a lot of beer bars that carry a liquor. So you want to pair something to go with an Underberg. You want that.
Well, let's try it.
Yeah. So all right. Yeah. I feel like if we're at the Good Hop,
When in Rome, right?
When in Rome, you have to have an Underberg.
I mean, we do bergs here sometimes.
Sometimes.
I've heard rumors.
Every once in a while.
It's been so long,
I
you know,
heard
you
y'all
forget these
bergs.
things.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So, it's been a while. I can't remember the last burger I had. I really can't because everything's been closed for so long.
I can't either. I'm sure you can.
I can.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Cheers,
can.
guys.
So,
Cheers.
salud.
Cheers.
Ooh. It's so lovely.
Still there.
It's still there. It's so lovely. That's the thing I like about it.
Still tastes the same.
And you got to keep the caps.
Yep.
You have to keep the caps. So
You can't get the points if you don't keep the
keep the
caps.
caps. Exactly.
No. No, you don't.
You really don't. What?
If anybody needs caps, you have some.
Can I ask you a question since you're doing the interview?
Yeah?
What have you gotten so far with these caps?
Well, we actually buy so much Underberg that they just send us stuff.
Oh, really?
To be honest. I don't know if you saw we did a cap guessing thing in the window.
I did remember that.
It was
yeah.
52,100 caps. So if you need caps, we have some
Sure. I'll bring a trash bag.
caps. Two. It was two full trash
bags?
cans. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That rules. That rules.
Well, awesome. So is this your first collab together?
I mean, technically, we've brewed side by side.
We've brewed side by side
a
on
bit,
past.
but it's
We
never
felt- yeah.
technically been a collab.
Right on.
But no, I mean, we were really excited. I mean, like we said, it was a long time coming. It probably took a little too long.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Alameda Island's in a great place. Oakland United's in a great place, and you know, it made a little bit too much sense for us to work together
Right.
finally. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is fantastic. I think you guys should do more.
Thank you
awesome.
so much.
Really appreciate that.
For
We
sure.
really do.
Cheers, guys.
Well, salud,
Cheers.
I'm out of beer. I'm sorry. I drink it.
you
I
can't
drink
do
it
that.
quick to
Bad
get
luck.
cheers. So yeah.
All right, so you got to watch us do a berg there, and I would like to introduce Aaron to bergs. So brought a couple of bergs from the Good Hop because why not? Cheers, man.
You gotta do it. Yeah.
All right.
That was a berg.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
Let's go. They're way tastier than that.
Oh, yeah.
They're way tastier than that. But
Oh, yeah.
come to the Good Hop, you can definitely experience those as many times as you would like.
Oh, let's go. And they were right. This definitely goes well with a shot.
Right?
It does.
It does.
Let's see what the judges have to say about that.
So, Tim, we got another beer here.
Yeah.
This is called 66th Avenue Pale Ale from Alameda Island Brewing and Oakland United. Newish brewer from Oakland United, I believe. Scott, what's his name?
Sure. See how you're doing this to me? Why would you do this to me?
You can edit this out later.
It's Ralph.
Ralph. And from Alameda Island? Richard?
That's Richard. Ralph and Richard.
So we're going to try this beer. This will be a little bit of an interesting departure from the hazies and straight West Coast IPAs that we've had.
And I love it says do the Humpty Hump on the bottom of the can. So let's figure out what that means.
It does. On the born on date of 4/28/21, super fresh. Do the Humpty Hump. There's probably some infringement on that copyright right there.
So, look, what I think is super cool about this beer, like right off the bat, is that it's hitting on what I think is a little bit of a trend coming back to the craft brewing world, which is like old school pale ale, you know, little bit of malt, but
I'm
also,
looking for it. I want it to come back.
Also, like some really cool old school hops that come together in just a super cool way. So this one has Comet, Simcoe, and Citra. So obviously Citra, a little bit of a newer hop, but Comet and Simcoe have been around for a while and used
It almost
a lot of
sounded
different...
like you said manure hop.
No, I did not say. Hopefully I didn't say that.
No, you said a newer hop.
A newer hop.
But you're right on the nose on this. This one brings back those older school malty characters. So I'm getting a little bit, just a hint of caramel. I'm not going to try to offend the brewers in this to say there's caramel 60 or 120 or anything in here, but there's a light, maybe something else was used in here, but it is giving that little je ne sais quoi of thinking back to those older school pale ales, and it's lovely.
Yeah, and the hop aroma is like this cool balance of sort of a little bit of pine, a little bit of herbal, a little bit of spice, like just all sort of mixed into one.
I love the herbal character on this. I think it blends well with that soft malty bread crust and maybe a little bit of grainy malt character in here. It's a little drier on the finish, which is nice.
Yep.
It's thirst quenching too.
It is, but like still also has a lot of body. I think going back to your comments about some sort of one of the malts that was used in the grain bill is certainly adding to the body of this beer, which again kind of harkens back to that old school, like pale ale type of beer that we all grew up loving to drink, and probably what got a lot of us into craft beer.
We're not going to say it's like a Fat Tire or a Sierra Nevada or anything like that.
No, not at all.
This is on its own a interesting beer.
For sure.
But good job, guys, on this brew. Keep them coming. And I hope everyone watching enjoys this.
Throw out a shout out to a baseball team that's local in the Bay Area. You might recognize that from the can. And it says right on the back here that it's worthy enough of the home of the tailgate. So baseball tailgating, super cool beer.
Cheers.
Alrighty, so we just want to take a quick moment to remember kind of why we're here and what we're doing about, the beers and why we're having all this fun, because
the cause.
The cause is the reason that brought it all together. Right?
That's right.
So our cause is the Shriners Hospital for Children, and raising money to get the kids and their families to the hospital. So it's the transportation aspect of this, and sometimes that is monumental for them. If they're coming from all over the country or coming from somewhere else, we gotta get those families to where they need to be. So
yeah.
Doing this with them, this is like the charity that the fest has picked. And if you go to the website right now, the lvcbf.com.
That's right.
You'll see a donate button up at the top. And we ask that if you guys are having a great time, drinking some beers, you want to throw some money, we would greatly appreciate it.
Totally. And again, over $150,000 has been raised to date before this event to help kids and their families to get to hospitals when there are procedures that are not covered otherwise. So thank you for what you do. Just getting this box, telling your friends, sharing what we're doing, going online, donating is actually helping people out and young people in and outside of our community. So let's take a look at what the Shriners have to say.
Absolutely.
Imagine a kid who's told his disability will be a lifelong struggle. Now imagine a place where that same kid is told he can do anything. I don't have to imagine, because that kid is me. And that place is Shriners Hospitals for Children.
For over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has helped bring hope to children and their families, regardless of their ability to pay.
Because of Shriners Hospitals for Children, I can play basketball. I can paint.
I can play hockey.
I could climb stairs.
can write my name.
$19 a month from people like you. Let Shriners Hospitals for Children help kids like me.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
You're not just giving a child the care they need. You're giving them
hope,
strength,
joy, independence. But we can't do it without you. Just 63 cents a day can change a kid's life forever, like it did for me.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
Your call says you care. Your gift, no matter how small it is, can help a kid like me.
Like me.
like Andrea.
When you call today, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of the love you gave to a kid just like me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Thank you for giving.
Because of you, we see lives changed every day.
Call or go online now. If operators are busy, call again or go online to loveshriners.org today. Your call says you care.
Alrighty, so thank you guys for watching that and paying attention. And we just want to remind you guys, you can go to the lvcbf.com website. And up near the top, you'll see a donate button. If you're moved by that, if you want to help kids get to where they need to go, please visit that website and send them some love.
Yeah, we love your support. And, you know, hey, just being a part of this is a support.
Yeah.
Speaking of this, we got another collab coming up. This one's pretty cool. It brings me back to my days of hip-hop.
Yeah.
I love how they call it the Two Dank Crew. So tell us about it, Melissa. What was this all about?
Yeah, so we got Altamont and Imperial. Those guys have known each other forever. They go way back, and Imperial is fairly new, and so I think for them it was just really nice to actually put a beer together from their two breweries instead of as a friend brewing with a brewery. So
yeah, there you go. Well, let's see what it's all about.
Let's see it. All right, so we've got our collab coming up from Imperial and Altamont. Why don't you guys introduce yourself? Go first.
Hey, Vito DeLucci from Imperial. Yeah, we just opened April 2nd last year, 2020, during the pandemic. So that was
why not?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Crazy time to open. So yeah, that was pretty fun. So we just passed our year marker though. So
okay, and you guys are attached to like a bottle shop bar.
So yeah,
the
other owner, Brandon, had a Imperial Beer Cafe in Brentwood, which is a bottle shop, and then he sold that to open the brewery with me as well. So yeah,
nice.
I was excited about that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are about a year in then?
About a year in, just made it past a year marker. It was like during COVID, just figuring out. I look at it as a blessing and a curse. It allowed us to kind of slowly start. So that was the silver lining, and then pivot our game to cans because we're a small 8-barrel brewery. So we were never looking at distributing much cans and stuff. It was all going to be through the tap room.
Right.
But it allowed us to pivot and learn that game quickly. So it was,
rapid fire style.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome, and we have Altamont here.
Yeah. What's up, everyone? Steve Sartori, Altamont Beer Works. We are a production brewery in Livermore. Got to obviously brew with Vito here, which was great. We've been around since, I guess, 2012 now. So it's been fun. We were Livermore's first brewery, which was cool. It was great to introduce our community to a craft brewery, teach everybody what a growler was,
Yeah.
And obviously throughout this year it's been insane to think about how much our business has pivoted to everything to now it's a can brewery, right? To go can only. But it's been cool. Like Vito said, it was, obviously it's been a curse in the fact that we don't get to hang out with our people and do our events, but it's been a blessing in the side of expanding the brewery, getting our distribution dialed in. We did a big can expansion, big canning line expansion. We've done a big brewery expansion. We've just done a lot of tidying up, housekeeping, which has been really fun. We've moved a lot of our staff in-house, which is great, which now has created a bit of a problem with hiring because, as we all know, nobody wants to work right now, so that's a little hard. But where we're at right now as a brewery is really good. We actually came out as a shit year, coming out really good and happy and doing what was best for our business, which was good. And
nice.
Hopefully soon enough we'll be able to serve beer for everyone. We still haven't opened our tap room yet, but coming soon, and June 15th hopefully.
Right.
When we decided like Altamont is we're not doing it till we're full bore. Like that's just who we are. Like we don't want to do the very limited capacity and stuff. And so thank God our cans, and you've supported us amazingly through this, which is awesome. And
Well, you guys are cranking out the cans for sure.
I mean, thank God John was supposed to be here, but obviously he had to leave. But our designer John, who was supposed to be here for the interview, is he's knocking it out of the park. Like the fact that he can crank out labels is fascinating. Yeah, which is one thing that's been cool this whole time to really be able to let us grow as much as we did, because if you're using a third-party company or all that, it's so hard,
Right.
So the pressure's been on John, but he's done very well.
All right, awesome. Well, let's talk about the collab you guys did. So I know like that's the heart of what we're doing here for the Livermore Craft Beer Festival, and great brewers are coming together, picking styles and putting it together. So let's talk about what we got in front of us right now.
The collab itself, so that was really cool. Like we've been talking about doing a collab for a while now.
Shoot, we were even talking about before
when I was a brewer. When I was a home brewer, we've been talking about doing a pro-am.
A weird beer for pro-am.
Weird beer for pro-am. So when I got the email from John Sylvester, and it said in there, it had a sentence in there. I think I highlighted it.
Yeah,
I
it was
sent
like
it
the
to you.
first sentence.
It's like, is there a brewery that has a canning line who you've always wanted to do a collab with? And I was like, dude.
Nice.
Like literally 10 minutes later, Vito emailed me, and I was like, oh,
okay.
yeah.
It was like, yeah.
Nice.
So that was like cool. We got it. Yeah. So it was rad. And then we started talking. First, I think we were talking pale ale because that's like my favorite style. All our favorite style. But then we're like, let's do IPA. IPA is where that's what sells the best.
Right.
People love them.
Yeah. People love them. Yeah.
They sell, right?
That's where we went that route. Yeah. For sure.
Sweet. So let's talk about what's in it, right?
So yeah, the grist, real basic.
Kept it simple.
Yeah, kept it simple. Little oats wheat, but then mainly churro, and then the hops in there. So that was what was rad. Is you want to just come down and go through?
Yeah, he came over to my office. We're talking and we're shooting the shit about the collab, and I was like, all right, let's go walk next door. He's like, what's up? I'm like, well, we'll go in the cold box and just go shopping. And so and especially during COVID and ramping up our production, we're buying pallets full of every hop. So literally I was like, Vito, and he's like, dude, you have like everything in here. I was like,
you're like, I like that?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like,
that's pretty much what
we threw in all the new, all the bangers of what we love.
I love Cashmere, I love Idaho 7, Strata, Nelson.
We decided to dose it with a little Nelson because why not?
Why not?
It's got a dankness, right? Yeah. Because we knew we were making dank, so we had to have some of that Nelson in there. Yeah. Give it the Diesely dank.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So let's talk about what we get out of the aroma on this beer, the flavor profile, right? The hops are so big in this beer.
Yeah,
totally.
Big part.
Yeah, obviously true to our style, and obviously Vito's, making amazing liquid over there is like, we've always been known as like that big hop flavor, the big aroma, but not the big strong bitterness, So obviously when we talked about, we're like, hey, big giant whirlpool hop, obviously, and then even a bigger dry hop. And, we were talking about different ratios of certain hops, right? Because certain ones can really take over. But I feel like this time, it's pretty weird. I feel like the first time I tried this beer, it was different than what I was thinking in my mind on paper, right? You know? And I think it's a good thing. I get a ton of fruitiness, I think.
Very fruity.
I was tripping out yesterday having one after I mowed the lawns and everything, and I'm in my back patio, and I'm like, I'm getting so much actually strawberry fruit, which is cool, probably coming from the Strata.
Yeah.
But what we were talking about before we brewed this was our Strata this year was way different than normal years. It was more danky and earthier, which was cool. Obviously the name, and we wanted something super dank, but I feel like it's pretty fruit forward. But I'm happy with the way it turned out for sure.
Yeah, I feel like you get dank. You definitely get that resiny note to it, but then it just opens up.
You got that Nelson dank with that kind of white grapey kind of that, which is cool.
The cashmere lime kind of vanilla.
The lime.
Idaho 7's got the juicy fruit, kind of.
And the pineapple kind of thing. So it's kind of get that tropical fruit basket kind of,
Right.
It's kind of
with a nice dank undertone.
Yeah, I was telling you, but it's kind of like that, when you got all your fruit sitting on the counter and it's at that point where it's about to be over, but it smells so good.
Right.
And then you just throw in a bag of weed.
Yeah.
Just tuck it all in there.
Yeah.
Just hide it from mom, and you're good.
Totally. Under the peaches, she'll never notice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, this is fantastic, you guys. Definitely.
Happy with the way it turned out. It's weird that this is the year of. It's crazy, right? Here we are thinking. I remember when John first came and talked to us last year. We're like, oh, this year's off, but next year, we're doing the festival.
Right.
So here we are.
You're
still,
okay, but
I mean, it's a different version, right? So.
I think it's cool. Like, it's cool to get a bunch of breweries together again. It's like an excuse for us to brew beer and get it out to the world. And I think it's cool too, because like we're obviously going to be releasing this beer through all our distribution means. So it's great to preach there. You know, like it's.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to brew.
Yeah, we're going to brew May 12th out at our facility.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Cool.
so we'll do the same beer
both
out there.
sides.
Yeah. And because they have a food license, they were able to put our beer on draft, which is cool. So they got 2 kegs in this collab.
Nice.
So yeah, so it should be, it's gonna be fun.
So we'll see it extended and from a different brewery on a different side.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, cool. It's good to see you guys today.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nice chat with you.
Cheers.
Thank you for the delicious beer.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
All right, so one of the best parts about this is that I get to drink it in the interview, and now I get to drink it now. And let's just see, what'd you think about it?
I mean, it was good. It was dank.
Well,
I enjoyed it. It was dank. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much, 2 Dank Crew, for what you guys do. That was a great collab, and I could tell, oh, almost spilled it. I could tell that would be good for a tailgate, for sure. Tailgate worthy.
Right after the other tailgates.
Right after the other tailgate, tailgate to tailgate.
Right. All right.
Cool.
Well, let's see what the judges think about it. We got our opinions. Let's see what they think.
What do we got next, Tim?
All right, so next up we have a collaboration beer from Altamont Beer Works as well as Imperial Ale. Imperial Beer Project. My boy Vito from Doe's representing, and this is called 2 Dank Crew. It's a West Coast IPA with some Cashmere, Idaho 7, a little bit of Nelson and some Strata in it. So let's give it a pour and see what we got.
While you're pouring, I was a little surprised to hear that Altamont was making an IPA. They're not known for that style. It's a little out of their wheelhouse. Of course, joking.
No, I'm looking
but we were
forward.
definitely expecting some big aromas off of this puppy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this beer. I really like Altamont's beer. Of course, Vito's making great beer at Imperial.
I believe this was brewed on the Altamont system, though, too. So shout out to Steve and crew. Love you guys. So we got some Cashmere, Idaho 7, Strata,
and Nelson.
Nelson Sauvin for the French.
Suave.
In here.
Which, wow. I don't know. I think you can kind of pick out a little bit of each of those hops in here. I mean,
the grapiness of the Nelson, or the
little bit of that white grape.
Chardonnay,
Sauvignon Blanc. Just a little bit of dankness, I think, from that Idaho 7, as well.
Not as dank as some of their beers, but it's definitely in the neighborhood, and I think the folks out there are really going to enjoy this beer when they taste it. If you're an Altamont or an Imperial fan.
Yeah, and there's
let's see
a little
what it
bit
tastes
of
like here.
kind of green honeydew melon type notes in there as well.
That's delicious. That's tasty.
Great beer.
It's a very good
Great beer. Again, a lot
They
of the
never
same,
disappoint.
a lot of the same flavors. I think the balance on this beer is awesome. Obviously, it's clear, it's clean. It's really fresh tasting, so the hops kind of pop when you taste it. You get a lot of that melon character, and then the bitterness, the balance is just awesome. It's kind of right there where I like it for a good West Coast IPA.
Yeah, it's a very soft, biscuity malt character to it. Maybe a little bit of a white pepper peach kind of fruity ester sitting on top with that little bit of white pepper phenolic toying with us in the back note.
Toying with us.
Toying with us.
Love it.
It's good.
Yeah, super drinkable for I don't know what the ABV is on this, but
I guess 7.2.
You could definitely sit back and drink a few of these. 6.2.
Off
sit
by
back,
a whole note.
Drink a few of those, really enjoy them. It's a great beer.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
All right, so we're back. We just got to hang with Altamont and Imperial for a little bit. I mean, Altamont is killing it. We were just talking about their logo. Their branding is fantastic. It's localized.
Totally.
It's made with pride of where they are from. It's great.
It's great. I love that A's logo with the windmill. You know, being out in the Tri-Valley, it's cool to see that.
Yeah.
They've actually got a little something for us. There's a special that they're gonna kick for us. Let's see what they got for us.
All right. All right, so we're back. We're back with another brewery. We've got The Tramp is the name of the beer.
Yep.
It's Belgian triple. This is coming from Highwater and Uncommon Breweries. Uncommon is, unfortunately, one of the breweries that we lost during COVID. They've been around for a while. Highwater and Uncommon have actually done a bunch of collabs together.
Yeah.
They've brewed together a bunch of years, and so it's glad to see that at least, you know, going out, they got to do one last round.
It's good that we can take a moment to honor those that really tried their hardest. I mean, this pandemic has been hard on everyone, right?
Brutal, right?
Brutal. I mean, it's been hard on you, right?
Yeah.
And we all had to shift. So, you know, shout out to Uncommon,
Yeah.
you know, for all their work that they've done, and just thanks for the legacy they put before. So let's take a look at what they had to do with this beer.
Yep. All right, so we got another collab up. We got Highwater and Uncommon Brewers. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself and let's talk about some beers? Sure.
My name is Mike Peasley. I'm with Highwater Brewing Company. We've been around, we're going on our 8th year now. We're based out of Lodi, California, but we did it backwards than most people did. We've been collaborative / gypsy brewers for most of our existence. And we just opened our tap room about 4 months before COVID hit. So that was fun.
Good timing.
Yes, perfect timing. So we're happily in Lodi, and Lodi has been just exceptionally welcoming of us, and we're very happy to be there. And just it's really allowed us to kind of open up our arms and let everything else come out. I mean, most people, if they know us at all, they know us for one beer. That is Campfire Stout.
Yes, that's a fantastic beer.
Thank you.
To be known for.
Thank you. That is, yes. When I first started when I started working with the company, it was about 2 months before we got our first ever medal at GABF for Campfire Stout. We have some amazing fans. They are just rabid.
I mean, that beer brings it, you know? It's fantastic.
And I had no idea. I mean, I had known Steve and Barry, owners, which I know you know.
Yep.
Just amazing people. And when I got into the industry, I knew of them. I'm living in Livermore, and my family, extended family, lives up near Chico and Gridley in that area. So we would drive through Stockton a lot. So back in the day, he had another place that we don't mention that was in Stockton. And I would go in there, and I was always just pleasantly surprised that this amazing beer was coming out of this little place, and I'm going to take this off. This amazing place in Stockton.
Right.
And I got to meet them, and they were awesome. So when I had the opportunity to come and work for them, jumped at it.
Oh yeah.
And back then we were the IPA guys. That's all they knew us. People knew us for was IPAs.
Right.
Then 2 months later, everything changed. We got a medal at GABF, and we became the Campfire guys, which is awesome.
Right.
And that has allowed us to, again, just play, really.
Yeah, for sure.
It's nice to have that beer in your back pocket is the wrong way to put it, but it's nice to have a beer like that people know and enjoy. And if you don't take a beer to a beer festival, if you don't bring that beer, trust me, I know this, they will yell at you. Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about the collab you guys did, right?
Sure.
So we're missing a person over there.
Yes.
For who you collabed with. So you guys are Highwater. You collabed with Uncommon.
Yeah. So Uncommon. So again, back to the Gypsy Brewer days. We did a beer with Uncommon and a few other Gypsy brewers back in the day that we would pick a beer for SF Beer Week. And the last few years, it became the Tramp, which is a triple.
Okay.
And we would make it for SF Beer Week. And slowly but surely, the Gypsy brewers are no longer gypsies. So this last year we did it, and we did it specifically for our tap room and for the event. And unfortunately, about a month after that, now Uncommon is closed.
They're one of the victims of COVID.
Yes. Yeah. And it's been a lot of fun playing with them. We get to go down, and I get to go get my hands in the grain.
Right.
It's been a lot of fun, and I personally love going down to Santa Cruz because, well, it's Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz.
Yes.
Well, so let's talk about what this beer, right? So you guys collabed a little bit. Sounds like it's a collab you've done before with him. So let's talk about the style a little bit. What's in it? What are we going to get out of it?
So it's a Belgian triple. or tripel, depending on how you want to put
Right.
the emphasis on the
roll it.
right syllable. It has heather and honey. I think it says Christmas berry honey.
Yeah, with persimmons.
Yes. And the Christmas berry honey, I actually had to go look up. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Okay.
But a Christmas berry is comes off a specific bush plant, and happened to be this guy had his hives for the honey near
Right.
those. So that, and then the persimmons, because normally, again, it comes out for normally SF Beer Week.
Right.
This year we brewed it and we let it sit for a little while because we couldn't redo that right now, for example, because good luck getting persimmons. But because of the fact that it's a tripel, it's allowed to sit longer.
Right. Yeah, you can age it a little bit, right?
Right.
I mean, it definitely has a lovely Belgian character. It's 10.1.
Yes.
Really nice Belgian character to it, though. You can definitely taste the tripel in there.
Yeah. That's why we saved this one for next to last, because it's super light. We want you to just ease on it. No, it is.
Slam it back really fast.
We have a habit of doing that both at High Water and most of the people we collab with, because being Gypsy Brewers, it's really allowed us to go play with a lot of people. We do a lot of collabs.
But yeah, I remember High Water moving some tanks into my old stomping grounds at Drake's for a little while.
Yeah.
At the beginning of his new adventure.
Yeah, that's where those 230s. That's where we got our start, and those 230 barrel fermenters have now been since moved on to other places. But yeah, we have 30 barrel fermenters kind of scattered all over Northern California, and we also have our own fermenters. Don't get me wrong. We have a couple 100-barrel fermenters out in Lodi that are basically they're filled with whatever we want them to. But yeah, having that pedigree and having that background and having those 30 barrels that we can kind of plug in wherever really does allow us to kind of do whatever. Because then as a brewer goes, we're not taking over. I mean, we are, but we're not taking over the brewery per se. We'll go in and we'll go make a batch. And then it sits in our tanks, and then we go away and we come back later.
Yeah. I mean, I remember hearing Steve starting High Water, and he was like kind of one of the first Gypsy brewers on the West Coast. There were a few on the East Coast at the time, but he would come in and be like, "Oh, I'm going to drop this tank," and people were like, "What? You're going to do what?"
Yeah.
Right? Like, no, I'm going to drop this giant stainless tank in the middle of your brewery. Is that cool? Yeah. Cool. All right, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a different way to go about it. But he's got his own brewery, and you guys have got your own spot now, and
and it really
it's fantastic.
It has. I mean, of course, it's going to have its own challenges, and they're going to be different than so many other people. But it has also allowed us, because we don't have so much money tied up in all the stainless sitting around. Right. It's kind of allowed us to go out. Yeah. I mean, let's face it. Not every batch of beer you make is going to be an amazing beer.
Right.
Every once in a while, they're not going to be great. So it does allow us that extra playing room. So,
for sure.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Well, sweet, dude. It's really nice to talk to you.
You too.
We go way back, so it's nice to have a beer with you.
Yes. Cheers.
All right, we're back. I just want to do a quick shout out to Mike Peasley, who you just saw. I used to brew with that dude at Pyramid Brewing Company, which is like a long time ago.
That's a couple adventures ago.
It's a ways back, yeah.
What was that venue that they were taping in? There was a lot of cool cans in the background. What was that?
Oh, that'd be the Good Hop.
Oh, the Good Hop. Never heard of it. Tell me about it.
Really? Are you not listening?
I love it.
Yeah, that interview was super fun. Also, I'm just sitting here rewatching them and being like, oh, look at that can. Oh, look at that can. Oh, look at that can.
Yeah.
So
totally.
It's been super fun, and we're about to move on to the next one.
Next collabo.
You want to talk about what we're?
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like we got Shadow Puppet and Rivers End. They put together a peach kettle sour, which is nice. Shadow Puppet has done some of them sours for a while, and they worked with Rivers End. It's good to see a couple Livermore breweries work together. That's one of the cool things I've noticed, in Livermore and then just on the whole brewery community, just how folks work together.
Yeah.
There's not like the edging out or the elbowing each other. It's really like, hey, how can we support each other? So let's take a look about what these two breweries were able to put together.
Alrighty, so I'm here with two brewers. You guys did a collab together. We got Rivers End and Shadow Puppet. You guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I am Brandon Jeffers from Rivers End Brewing Company.
Sweet. And how long have you guys been around? Tell us a little bit.
So we started February of 2019 or 2020.
We lost a year.
That's a big
2020 didn't count
distinction.
'cause of COVID. Yeah, so you guys opened like right before.
Yeah, so we were open for 3 weeks prior to the initial COVID shutdown, and didn't give us a whole bunch of time to get off the ground. Obviously, we were initially going to be kind of like a tap room only type of deal. Weren't quite focused on the distribution side yet, and then that was something we were going to work toward. So when the whole industry switched to cans only, it was like, okay, well, where do we go from here? Do we invest more into cans and set ourselves back a little further, or do we stick it out? So it was quite a few decisions that weren't quite sure we were going to have to make.
Not the ones you were planning on making in the beginning?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, didn't check any of the boxes.
I know, but you're still here, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, stuck it out. Definitely grateful for that. Very grateful.
Cool. All right. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, then I'm Craig. I'm the brewer from Shadow Puppet Brewing. I guess our collab kind of came about when one of my first customers was Brandon. And one of my first beers was a stout, and that's kind of his wheelhouse or whatever. So
right on.
I think I had him, kind of hooked from the beginning, and he was local to Livermore as well, so that helped. And then Brandon was our first beer tender, actually.
Nice.
And he got to watch us grow and kind of, immerse himself in brewing and so forth. So when he finally went out on his own and started his own place, and then this event came about, like who do I want to collab with? Brandon was at the top of my list, like getting to brew a beer together, but but collabing from two different breweries.
Right.
It was kind of a cool experience. So,
right.
Yeah,
awesome.
And we're 5 minutes down the street from each other,
and
so
it was super convenient.
Right?
Yeah, very convenient.
Tight, super tight. All right, so tell us, what did you guys decide on? What kind of style are we drinking here?
Yeah, so this is a kettle soured beer with fruit, which is fairly common. I guess the difference for us, for Brandon, getting into it, hadn't kettle soured yet, so I thought it would be a good introduction to a new process.
That
I could share, that I've kind of gone through some of the growing pains of.
Nice.
And bring it to his brew house and maybe do something that I haven't done at Shadow Puppet so far.
Right.
Which was taking the alcohol up a little bit. We've been doing the sessionable kettle sours, and like let's make the yeast work a little bit harder and see if they can make
what you can get out of it.
Beer. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we got kettle sour as the base.
Kettle sour base. Since we were taking it up to 8%, and I wanted to make sure there was some body, we did add a lot of Vienna malt.
Okay.
So for the beer nerds out there, Vienna malt has more biscuit and bready flavors. I wanted to make sure there was body left.
Right.
And then somehow with like peaches, I always think of cobbler, which is kind of a pie with a lot of like bready flavors. So I wanted bread and peach. Maybe it dried out a little bit more than I was expecting. And I was really worried that it wouldn't ferment at all, which is why I haven't tackled a strong kettle sour.
Right.
It's a lot to ask out of beer yeast, but we decided to go for it. And
nice. I mean, it drinks super smooth for 8%.
Yeah, that was one of the things that we were looking for, was something that wasn't too sour, that was going to destroy people's taste buds who aren't quite used to sours yet. You know, people are just getting going on them, because that is one of the developing trends, is kettle sours. So this one won't be so overpowering that people who get this beer and this 12-pack, can look forward to if they don't typically drink kettle sours and they want to try something new.
Right. They're not like, oh my God, so
sour. They're not like, Sour Patch Kids.
Sours are terrible. Yeah, this is fantastic. It's super soft. I get a little, definitely get the peach, and then, like you said, a little bit of almost pie, like the pie crust note, right? Like the softer side to that.
Yeah. Peach is
really
more
nice.
like a background flavor. Try to not make it too forward. That leaves a little more complexity to it.
Yeah, for sure. So, whose kettle got to get soured for this?
Actually, so this time it was mine. I think they almost tried to pull this event off last year, but everything was difficult,
Right.
more difficult last year.
Right.
So we actually got together and did a blackberry version of it.
Oh, for last year.
Last year, like
Oh,
we,
nice.
we jumped on the chance to do this event last year,
Right.
and then it couldn't quite get
And then the
together on
world ended.
schedule. Yeah. It's a production.
Right, right.
Getting all these
COVID
people
aren't
together.
as easy as they sound.
Totally.
So, and then the blackberry. So this is a little more gentler version of it, I think.
Yeah, not so fruit forward, not so sour forward. It's a good one for the masses who are hopefully, partaking in the 12-pack.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, cool, you guys. I'm really enjoying this beer. It's great.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Alrighty. Well, that was super tasty, actually.
That was super tasty.
So we'll just leave that there.
With all the rest.
Yeah. With all the rest.
We were making our way through them. We're it's a
working on it.
trail. It's a
Nope.
an agenda.
Never leave a trail.
Never leave a trail. No trail.
No.
There is no trail. There is no trail.
Don't leave a trail. All right, let's go see what the judges had to say about this one.
All right, let's take a look.
All right, we're back. And this time we've got a kettle sour to taste.
Tim, I'm excited about this beer.
Yeah, this beer is going to be great. This comes to us from Shadow Puppet Brewing as well as River's End.
The neighbors over at Altamont, or near
that's-
Altamont Brewing.
That's what I hear. And this one's called Shadow's End. I think it's loaded up with some peaches and has a little bit of tartness to it. So let's give it a taste and see what we got here. Bless you.
That's dust, not COVID.
So he says.
So I'm going to say right off the bat, this is a much bigger sour than people might be used to. There's a lot of malt aroma on this. You get tons of fruit. Maybe a hint of alcohol rolling off the surface, but just this rich kind of warming feeling. Kind of like you're sitting out in the evening, the moon's out, you've got a blanket over your legs, sun's gone down, it's cooling down in the backyard, you pull this out. This is not a tiny beer, Tim. This is an 8.1 ABV sour. A little different, but not unheard of. Give me some aromas off of this.
If you ever do beer judging, one of the things they teach you is to get real specific with your descriptors. And when I smell this beer, to me, it's the peach fuzz.
Ooh.
It's the outside of the peach that you really get.
Like you're washing them in the kitchen sink, getting ready to make a pie or something.
It's really fresh. I
can see that.
I do get that sort of malty background notes that you were talking about, like some kind of little bit of biscuit.
I don't know what's in here. There could be maybe a little Vienna malts, some biscuit, sigilled. Who knows what's in here? It's making this super round on the palate.
Reminiscent of like a peach crumble.
Peach crumble.
Some
You are on
dessert.
fire, my friend.
Some dessert for you.
Let's give this a taste. Oh. I hope you guys are getting the same thing I'm getting off of this. It's just like you bit into that ultra ripe, juicy peach that's just, it's running down your face. It's making a mess on your priest shirt. But it's sultry. It's a little bit musky. It's good.
Yeah, and what I would say too is, the sourness in this beer is not like a punch you in the face kind of sour.
It is not.
It's not one that's gonna make your teeth squeaky and tear the enamel off of them.
Approachable?
It's very approachable, but at the same time, this isn't the kind of beer I don't think you would drink like on a hot summer day per se, but maybe at night, like chilling out by the fire pit if you've got one in your backyard.
I think so.
Put it in a snifter.
I probably could sneak a little bit of this on a hot day, but it is a bigger beer. It's a rounder beer. It's something that you're just going to enjoy slowly sipping. It's not a slammer, but go out and pick out more of this if they keep brewing it past the festival. Maybe they will.
It's delicious.
It's fantastic. Cheers.
Alrighty, so that beer was delicious.
It was.
Super delicious.
Grub-alicious.
And we want to do a huge shout out right now. Actually, let's do 2 shout outs.
Let's do a couple.
So first of all, we want to thank all of you who are watching right now.
Shout out to all you.
I hope you guys are, maybe your table looks a little bit like this.
Kind of like this.
Or hopefully you're sharing this with some people if your table looks like this.
You got some of these caps right here.
Maybe. maybe.
There you go, maybe.
But we want to thank you guys for watching and enjoying the beers and going through this process with us, because this is as close as we're getting to a festival right now, right?
And it's helping kids, right?
Yeah.
It's all helping kids.
It's all helping the kids.
And you know, the crazy thing is, you know, where we're at right now, I mean, I don't know if you all know, but like this is actually a huge production, right? I mean, we were talking, I mean, what were you expecting when we were on our way here? What were you thinking we were gonna walk into?
Oh my God, so all the videos you guys are watching, they came to the Good Hop, which was amazing for me.
Yes.
And I thought it was gonna be like 2 handheld cameras and a microphone.
But no.
But no.
It wasn't.
No. The
No,
production level on this
not
has been
even.
amazing, and these people are donating their time for this. This company is fantastic.
Their
And
equipment. We're in a 70,000 square foot warehouse right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it. We've got this crazy wall behind us. This is all screens tied together.
Dude,
it's
don't
an LED
give away
wall.
all the secrets, man.
Oh, I'm just kidding. No, that's not what it is. We're actually inside a glass of beer. We're actually, excuse
We're
me.
in that barrel.
We're in
right
a
now.
barrel of beer right now. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Totally
I wasn't supposed to say that.
I know.
So we're actually in a barrel of beer, but it's also at Riverview Systems Group, and they're located in Milpitas, California. They've got all kinds of gear. They put
these
this
guys are
together for
awesome.
us. They're amazing, right? And I mean, the level of production, you know, shout out to the crew here. Can we just clap for them? We can just clap for the crew. All these
You
folks
guys
who
are
have donated their
awesome.
time to be able to raise funds for the kids, man. Thank you so much, Riverview Systems. They got a couple words they want to share with you. Let's hear from them.
Alrighty, you know, let's move on to the next brewer then, yeah?
That's cool. You know, that screen that they showed right there,
Was in the barrel.
that was in the barrel. That was the barrel screen, man. Oh, yeah. So we got another collab coming up. What do we got?
All right, so we got Danville and Pennyweight. Pennyweight's in this whole process of the 12 beers. 3 of them are pretty new. They're within a year, basically, maybe a little bit over a year, and all through COVID. So this one, Pennyweight's pretty new to the scene, and the beer's called Mash Slaughter.
Mash Slaughter.
Mash Slaughter. And the logo on this is phenomenal. So
It is,
I'm gonna let you chat it up a little bit about that.
Yeah,
one.
totally. This is a friend of mine, actually, one of my homies named Trent. Shout out to Trent from Only Up. He worked together with Pennyweight to put together their label. He's done a couple things. They actually did an art walk downtown Livermore. They put together a mural festival with the Livermore Valley Craft Beer Foundation, which I said properly. Shout out to y'all. And yeah, so you know, shout out to Trent for this can. It's basically, you've got the barrel fighting all of the bags of the hops and all of the barley and all of that's kind of a cool way to do it.
It's
I love
a sweet label.
Mash Slaughter, and it's an IPL, right?
Yep, it's an IPL. Why don't we check in with the brewers and see what they got to say about it?
Cool. Let's take a look.
All right.
Alrighty, so we got Danville and Pennyweight here. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves, and let's talk about some beer.
Okay, I am Matt Sager. I work for Danville Brewing Company. I've been there since we've opened, we're coming on 5 years now. And yeah, I've been the head brewer there. I worked at a couple breweries before that, but just loving how things are going right now, and yeah.
Right on.
My name is Chris Guy, co-founder of Pennyweight Craft Brewing, head brewer 500 hat wearer.
All the things.
All the good things. All the fun stuff.
Right on. Well, so you're a little bit newer in the realm of brewing.
Yep.
As far as a brewery, tell us, like, when did you open?
So we opened July last year, mid-pandemic.
Nice.
Extra fun campfire season as well.
All the things.
All the good things. So we've never technically opened. We've been open at limited capacity since day one.
Dang.
Insane. Yeah, crazy. I don't wish it on my worst enemy, but we're here. We're survived the year so
Well, now
far.
you should be like, all right, bring it, right?
Yeah,
Like fires, pandemic,
Yeah, what else
let's
we
go.
got? What else we got?
All right, so let's talk about the collab you guys did.
Yeah.
I know that's actually not what's sitting in front of us, but tell us about what you guys did.
It's still working.
Yeah,
right.
It's still in a tank.
Yeah, we did a lager. We did an IPL, so it's still conditioning. That was one of the beers that he and I. And by the way, Chris and I have wanted to do a collaboration for the longest time. Since you opened, really, we've talked about it, and this was a perfect opportunity for us to do this. And we thought, well, heck, let's do an IPL.
Right.
That's a style that we both love.
Yep.
And
It's a style I've never brewed before, and wanted to pick his brain about it with this collaboration too. And
nice.
I mean, he makes phenomenal ones, and I was just like, this is perfect style. He said IPL, I go, I'm game.
Yeah, at Danville we have a whole line of IPL, our Hello series. So I thought, well, heck, let's do something fun. Let's do an IPL with some really neat hops and.
Went through the cold box the day of the collab and kind of went, okay, there.
It was like a laundry list of hops. Like, what do we want to put in this? And it was
Totally.
kind of fun, yeah.
That's awesome. Actually, I love the Hello series that you guys have been doing.
Yeah,
We've had a
thank you.
couple of them here on the shelves, and they're fantastic.
Yeah,
so
thank you. Yeah.
It'll be cool to see that. Okay, so we're not drinking a lager right now, but what are we pouring right here?
All right, go for it.
No, you've got, that's
Oh,
your
okay.
beer.
All right. So I have Hot McGee. It's our hazy IPA that we brew. Actually just took silver at the Bistro's IPA festival, so that's I'm pretty stoked about that.
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a hazy IPA brewed with I'm blanking.
Hops.
It's brewed with a lot of hops. Wheat, oats, barbarian yeast. That's what so it's a very high ester beer. So we had to punch through those esters with hops. So we really went heavy on the mosaic hops, and that's what you're getting in this. It's kind of a mosaic heavy with a lot of tropical fruit.
Nice. Yeah, that's amazing. And congrats on the win.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, the Bistro is always, I think, highly regarded, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see who gets those chops.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
congrats on that. All right, what do you got in front of you?
So here, I'm gonna give you some over here. So this is our bourbon barrel-aged Jefecito milk stout. It's not super crazy high on ABV-wise. We keep it at around 8.5. This one's 8.3.
Okay.
This is actually my very first barrel-aged non-sour beer.
Non-sour?
Non-sour.
Okay.
We have a big, giant downstairs cellar that we haven't been able to release our sours from there just yet because the time hasn't been there.
They're getting aged a little bit longer.
Exactly. But so this, I brewed this stout. I wanted to see what it looked like in bourbon barrels and threw it in. And there's a combination between a couple local distilleries and then some Elijah Craig barrels as well. And let it just sit and ride and just kept sampling it every few months. And
the hard work.
Yeah, exactly. And
Dude,
then,
this is delightful, man. The nose on this is fantastic.
Had a lot of fun. This is our staple milk stout traditional beer that we keep on tap pretty much a year long at the pub.
Right on.
It's been a year now, I can say that.
Right.
Almost a year. It's almost been a year.
Almost a year, yeah.
So yeah, have a lot of fun with this beer. I don't add too much lactose to my milk stout either. I keep it under like 4% just to give it a little bit of creaminess, just to smoothen it all out and not go too heavy like it's you're drinking milk, you know, but keep the milk sugar in there just to sweeten it out a little bit.
Soften it.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Someday we'll get your cans in here, our draft.
If I ever can.
If you ever can.
So we've been through these like spells and roller coasters of canning. It's like we're small. We have a hard enough time brewing and keeping up. And again, like I've run this whole crazy, stupid thing by myself like an idiot because we've been short-staffed and because of what's been going on.
Right.
I just recently got help in the cellar with a cellarman, and just him alone, having him in there, has freed up so much time to be able to actually produce more beer, get more out there.
Nice.
Our cold box is jam-packed now, which is a good thing. So
Right.
getting ready to hire sales rep and get our beers out further, greater than as far as Castro Valley from us to here, but we'll definitely get you some beer soon.
It's like hyper local.
Yes.
Very, very, very
yeah,
local.
well, again, like I'm driving my own sales, I'm my own delivery driver, the whole, mess on top of doing everything else. So I'm trying to finally just, as we open up more, we get more revenue in, and that's going to allow me to be able to hire sales and get more beer out and produce more. So
actually let people inside.
Yeah,
in a normal world.
Maybe.
maybe,
weather's too
right?
nice right
We
now.
don't have to rush it.
Yeah, the weather's too nice, but we will be packaging more and more as we go. Get bigger and expand into our shoes a little bit more and just get the volume out there.
Cool.
So
awesome. All right. Well, this isn't going to look like a lager, but just as a reminder, we got the lager coming in the box, right?
Yes.
And the hops in that lager.
Idaho 7, Motueka, and Cashmere.
Okay.
So yeah, we wanted something we went through a laundry list of what I had in inventory, and it was.
Yeah,
we want
that one's good.
tropical.
That's awesome. That's great. Let's do it.
Let's go for this one.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, cool, you guys. It was super awesome to chat with you today.
Yeah.
Same.
Thank you.
Melissa, thanks for having us.
Yeah, cheers, you guys.
Great.
Great.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
Okay, so what you want to do is you just kind of angle the can, and you're just going to like pierce it like this. All right, so grab a hold of the can and do that. Oh, okay. Hold on.
Let me sit down.
That's cool.
Yeah, we just wanted to give a quick shout out
all good.
to my guy Chris from Pennyway. Hey, Chris, man, it was cool doing the feeding for the homeless in the Tri-Valley, man, on Thanksgiving.
Sweet.
Shout out to Chris, man. It was good working with you at Pennyway, man. Love it.
All right, we're gonna crack this while you guys go listen to what the brewers had to say about that.
Yeah, what they got
that's
to
all
say.
good. All right, so we have Morgan Territory and Del Cielo here today. You guys did a fantastic collab for the Livermore Craft Beer Fest, and we would like to talk about it. Craig, why don't you introduce yourself?
Love to, Melissa. Thank you. Yeah, I was excited to do the collaboration with Del Cielo. We did a double IPA and a Strata. Pretty excited about it. A little bit about my background. I started at Schooner's Grill and Brewery back in '04, so I've been in the industry for a little while.
Back in the day?
Back in the day. When the kind of the restaurant part of it got a little too hairy for us, we decided to open up a production facility because that was really our passion, was the brewing of the beer. So we transitioned from the brew pub in 2015, opened up Morgan Territory in 2016, and we're coming up on our 5-year anniversary.
Right on.
Pretty excited about it.
Right on. And we got another person from Morgan Territory?
Yeah, I'm Kyle. I started at Morgan Territory, 6 months after we got going there. He was actually my first mentor at EJ Fair Brewing Company 9 years ago. And yeah, just really excited about this IPA came out, a new hop for us, the Strata, really a dank hop that's not really similar to like any other hop out there right now. So it really has its own je ne sais quoi character to it that's almost unreproducible with other hops.
Right on. And you guys did this beer with Del Cielo?
Yep. Hey, I'm Luis Castro from Del Cielo. Yeah, it was pretty excited to do this beer with Craig and Cal from Morgan. I think we did a pro-am for like 3 years and a half or 4 years before I opened Del Cielo.
Yep. Okay.
We did a foreign extra style, a lot of fun. We kind of went back and forth with the recipe. They have a foreign extra style. We kind of find our middle ground for that.
Okay.
Love this beer. Love everything that Morgan Territory do too. We kind of were looking for like something different of this dough IPA. Our base malt was a Pilsen. So we did the majority, the best malt was a Pilsen, and we use Strata, Mosaic, and a little bit of Sultana too. We're looking for that kind of dry West Coast dough IPA, a little bit of dankiness that we talk about when we're brewing that. I'm pretty happy with what we did. Yeah, pretty excited to be part of this.
Yeah, I mean that's
Already beautiful just by the clear West Coast style.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and Strata hops seems to be like, I mean, Strata kind of hit the market, what, about a year or two ago maybe, as far as everybody calling it out and really talking about it. You guys want to kind of talk about that hop a little bit in terms of like, what do you get from it? What are the features?
This first year we've had this hop in-house.
Yeah.
We definitely were able to sample some beers in the previous years with the people that were lucky enough to get their hands on it. It's kind of the, what Citra became Galaxy, Galaxy became Strata. It's that kind of unobtainium sort of a hop character. Talking with some friends at Ghost Town, theirs is a lot more fruity, but this is more on that dank end, more of that kind of earthy, piney, dank sort of thing. So just really works well in a West Coast style IPA.
Well, we also did hop selection for this one as well. So we kind of,
cool.
once the crop became available, we kind of jumped on it and was able to purchase enough in advance to be able to be part of the hop selection. So they brought some down, some bales, core samples, and we were able to select it. So it's kind of that we were going for that dank aspect. We didn't want kind of a dank sort of Citra or a dank, we wanted what Strata's known for, and that dank character.
Nice. And so let's talk about hop selection a little bit, because you see it out on the internet, pictures of like brewers like, hops in hand or like bricks sitting in front of them. So you guys were able to be selected to be able to select that hops, or like, let's talk about that process a little bit.
Yeah, so with the Strata, it's still pretty limited to which farms grow it as far as the other more, I'd say, commercial available hops. It's through multiple farms, that sort of thing like that. One of the most interesting things this year was selecting the Mosaic and finding out how much smoke damage had happened to that crop up in Oregon during the fires this year. I mean, it was drastic.
Like you can tell.
Yeah,
it's in there.
To the point where you're like, unless I'm making a Roush beer,
how do I put this in a beer?
Why are you sending this? Sort of thing like that. Again, the Strata, I think it was known for the dank, so we went with the dankest of the dank in the entire selection.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah, so I guess the Strata comes from indie hops, right?
Yes.
So basically that's the farmer that kind of create the Strata versus the Strata crop. So it depends exactly what you get. Like you get like different profiles of the hop too.
Okay.
So for those brewers that were enough to be able to buy directly from him, we just get pretty much whatever we select to buy from him. So that's kind of cool.
And it's always kind of the right tool for the right job as well when you're selecting hops or ingredients in the brewing process in general. I mean, there was the same thing with Simcoe this year where it wasn't that normal cat pee kind of bright Simcoe, but the Mosaic was so far to this direction, people found out, hey, maybe we can get the Simcoe to maybe back up our Mosaic profiles because it was a little more fruity, a little more tropical.
But they're actually changing per year, right? I mean, I feel like in the past, you get cascaded, and it was pretty close to the same every year. You didn't really, back in the day, right? You were doing the selection and being like, literally, it's different each year. Oh, we'll take that year, not that year, kind of thing. And
I think it's interesting. What Kyle brought up was that I think an interesting part of that is that a lot of these hops seem to be kind of evolving to the middle. These very citrusy characters, and we could have selected all of our Citra, Simcoe, Mosaic to be kind of the citrusy kind of character, but we want, like he said, we wanted these toolboxes. So if we want that overripe fruit of Mosaic, that's what we're going for.
You're going to go for that year.
If we want the caddy part of the Simcoe, we want that. So you can kind of manipulate your recipes so that you can get something unique out of it.
Right. Otherwise, you just get like all Citra and be like, cool, it's all Citra.
Right.
It's been interesting seeing a lot of those hops evolve as well, where the more farms that are growing it, maybe it's a little more lax on the protocols for growing it. So you've seen Citra start to really waver in the last couple of years as far as from what it was maybe in 17, 16, just that true Citra character.
Right.
So again, I think that was probably the funnest part about lot selection was having your own destiny under control and saying, this is my paintbrush. I need these colors to make this thing happen. And really.
We had an experience where we had not hop selected the year before, and so we started just accepting lot after lot after lot of Citra.
Like you're like, I can get it, I'll take it.
Right. Okay. Well, we had a contract, so we had we had a contract for 100 boxes of 44-pound of Citra, but we didn't, since we hadn't done hop selection, we'd bring in 2 boxes at a time, and for the most part, there would be different lots every time, and we'd be like, okay, this is going in the boil, this is going in the boil, and then all of a sudden we hit this lot, and we're like, woo,
is it, right? And
Ship it tomorrow.
Right. So we called up Yakima that day and said, we will buy out the rest of our contract, but it has to be all this hop. And it was magical, and it was really nice. And so I guess I'm not sure I completely appreciated how much variation there was within lots and stuff until we kind of went through that
Right, when you
experiment.
start seeing it happen. And
Right.
When you start getting some characters that are, especially in the core brands, all of a sudden the core brand starts to waver a little bit, and you're like, well, that's not
That's
not
not
that beer
Hop
anymore.
Comic, yeah.
you know?
Right.
So you're trying to corral it back into that
Right.
lane, to make sure the customer is having that same experience. And
Yeah.
the people that really love those beers will notice when you've got something.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the challenges that breweries our size have, which is like consistency on, especially the IPAs. Like if you get like a specific hop, you want to make sure that you have the same profile that you did like 2 or 3 batches ago. So
Right.
people are like, oh, this is the same beer, the same IPA that I normally get at Dos Hill, I normally get at Morgan Territory. It's like, okay, so how can we get in between? You don't have to go like right or left. You just want to be like as close enough to those hops. So the best way to do it is just select your hops, or even like sometimes like if you're like sure on some hops and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get it from Morgan Territory or another brewery, friends. Like, okay, before you dry hop, what you do? Open the bag, smell it, make sure that that's what you want, and then you dry hop.
Right, it's still that citrus note, right? Or it's still that dank note, or whatever it is before it starts sliding back and forth.
Right,
Yeah, and I think it's more like every second or every time that you do something with your beer, you want to make sure like it's the right profile that you're looking for, with hops, with malt, or with yeast, or anything that is happening with your beer. Like,
right.
Especially like during fermentation, like if. I always say this, like anybody can brew beer, but can you actually ferment and make it taste how you want it to taste at the end of when you have the glass?
Right.
And I think like we just kill it with this beer.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's important when you brought up too. I think with especially core brands, you're building a brand off of that beer. And anybody can throw something at a wall, and if it sticks, it sticks. But I want that beer to be that beer you remember. It's like Sierra Nevada. Why are they the best ever?
Right.
Because that pale is going to taste the same in Texas as it is in New York, as it is in Canada, or wherever. And it's like it's like cooking. You're not going to make a steak, and you don't want it to taste like crap one time, or this, whatever
You waste a good
ingredients. Yeah, just
Well, cool, you guys. This beer is fantastic, and it's been really nice to chat with you guys about hops because hops are the best.
You're right. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Oh man,
All
all
right.
kinds of good stuff.
That beer was awesome.
That was good stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's right. I think we've worked our way through the collaborations, huh?
I mean, we certainly have.
We have worked our way through them. I feel like we have worked our way through
Yeah.
them.
You feeling it?
I am feeling it just a little bit.
Right on.
Let's see what the judges have to say about this.
Yeah.
I think this Morgan Territory, this collab that they put together, the play date with Del Cielo. Let's see what these guys have to say about that.
Yep.
Hey Tim, we're back.
Yes.
What do you think about all this?
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Love tasting all these beers, all local. Great.
The next beer up is a double IPA called Pub System Playdate from Morgan Territory paired with Del Cielo. 2 of our favorite groups of brewers.
Yep.
Do you remember the names of these crazy guys? You do, of course.
Well, of course. We know Luis from Del Cielo, Doe's member.
Yep. And we got Craig and Kyle over at Morgan Territory. Super cool people. We're going to try this out for everyone and let you know what it's like.
I've
Let's get
judged
a
some
pour of
beer
this.
over at Morgan Territory once or twice for the Morgan Cup.
The Morgan Cup that our club runs, which is fun. So this is one of those beers that has a long description on the side.
Yes, it does.
And there's a lot of interesting hops. One of the interesting things about this one is they're saying 150 pounds of hops in this batch. That's a lot of hops.
For sure. And when I take a whiff of this here, I think, definitely some dankness in there, some kind of cool hop resins.
Cannabinoidy?
Cannabinoidy, yes. But also that mosaic really comes through, and you really get that like ripe kind of tropical fruit flavor,
Grilled pineapple. Yeah, it's so
orangey. Very, very much mosaic in nature. I think there's also a hop in here called Sultana, which I'm not super familiar with, but it definitely
I always think of
seems to
raisins,
be,
but it has nothing to do with raisins.
I don't think it does. The beer does not smell like raisins.
It does not. It does have a bit of a rich malty base to it.
Yep.
So it's what you need on a double IPA, something that's going to carry forward all of those luscious, bitter, and interesting tropical fruit hop flavors and aromas. This has got it.
It's a pretty beer too. I love the color, super clear.
Yeah, like a little bit of
Nice to look
a
at. It's always good to look at your beer every
pale
now and
straw
again.
orange.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pale straw yellow orange.
Let's give it
Sure.
a taste. Definitely a double IPA.
And that pineapple really comes out from that mosaic.
Yep. Good full body. You get just a touch of the alcohol in there, which is always good with a double IPA.
Mhm.
It adds a little bit to the overall feel of the beer, and
it gives it
some
an
of the
additional
flavors.
alcohol sweetness,
Yep.
which not a lot of people think about. You get that tip of the tongue sweetness from certain alcohols in stronger beers, especially when they're executed well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, definitely some bitterness in there to offset some of that sweetness as well. Give you a good balance. It says 80 IBUs on the can. I'm not sure if it tastes like 80 IBUs. I mean, IBUs are kind of a perceived thing sometimes, but it definitely has the bitterness there to support that malt that's in the grain bill.
And
It's
still
delicious.
super fresh.
Yep. Yep.
Empty your pint.
Okay, let's do it. Right?
MT.
Cheers.
Get it. That's the fun abbreviation, M.T, your pint. Empty it. Good job, guys. And we hope everyone who's at the festival is enjoying this beer as well. Thanks again for the support. Cheers.
All right, I want to do a huge shout out to our judges.
Thank you,
They
judges.
worked their way through these beers on their own. I mean,
they did.
in a very nice looking backyard.
Yeah, I wish I had a backyard
Fresh
like
air
that.
and fresh air and beers, right?
That's right. That's what it's all
But
about.
I think that we should do a shout out. So if you all have been playing along with us, you've noticed that there are 12 beers in your box,
Mhm.
and we have gotten our way through 9
Yep.
of them.
So there's 3 more.
3 more.
What are they?
So this is a shout out to these guys. What we did for the box was actually reach out to some brewers and do some collaborations with them. And then we actually reached out to some other brewers and asked them to put in some of their best beers.
Yeah.
So I want to do a huge shout out to Gilman right now. They did the Intergalactic Dad Pants, the Pale Ale. We do the Ghost Town in Hume, which is their flagship IPA. It's
Everybody
super
knows them for
clean,
that.
really crisp. It's amazingly delicious.
Yep.
And then we got Drake sliding in at the end with their Cuddy, which is a new beer for them. So it's just starting to hit the markets. It's great to see it drop into a box where some people might be like, oh, it's Drake's again. All right, cool. This is something different from them.
That's right. And how cool to have all of these local Cali breweries working together to put together the 9 collabs and then 3 of their best from some of the flagship shops that we got around the Bay. So shout out to all of the brewers. We're super excited for all the brewers and all the things that they've done.
Yeah.
And we also want to shout out to our sponsors. A lot of these sponsors, this has been a tough time for everybody. The pandemic has hit all the brewers. It's hit all of our guests. It's hit all of our neighbors. It's hit us all pretty hard. But you know what? These sponsors stepped up. So we wanted to take a second, and you're looking at some of the logos of some of our sponsors. You probably recognize them, but we just wanted to say thank you because, they actually stepped up in this moment, in the middle of a pandemic, before the things are open. They're all good people providing great services, and we're just thankful. So just appreciation, grace, and thanks to all of them for all that they're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, right? Like everything comes together through this pandemic. We've talked about, the Good Hub actually does a bunch of sponsorship stuff, and we haven't been able to, right? Because of the pandemic. And so I think some of us came out of it a little bit better. Some of us came out a little bit worse. Hopefully most of us actually came out of it.
Yeah, right. Right?
Anyone who's standing right now, like you're almost there. We're so
You're
close.
resilient, for sure resilient,
We're
right?
so close.
That's the word.
So, dude, Aaron, it has been awesome to hang with you today.
Yo, it's been an honor, Melissa. I feel like I've gotten to learn, in the offset time when we're watching videos, I'm asking her what's the difference between an IPA and an IPL, and she's so gracious. Thank you for all the work you've done. And, shout out, honestly, for being one of the first 25 female brewers in the United States of America back in the 90s when that wasn't even a thing.
Back in the 90s.
Back in the 1900s.
Oh, come on.
But thank you, Melissa, for being a pioneer, and then also like giving of your time today.
Yeah.
It's been great to just sit with you. I think I have a new BFF. We're probably gonna double date with our wives. We're gonna have a good time hanging out together. We'll bring you out to Livermore.
All right.
There you go. It's been a whole lot of fun. You know, there's a couple more things we wanted to cover. You know, we've got, you know, again, thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to Melissa. Thank you to all of the breweries. Thank you to those who collabed. I know they put a lot of work in there. If you've been inspired by the Shriners Hospitals today, make sure you guys go to lvcbf.com. LVCBF, that's Livermore Valley Craft Beer Foundation, lvcbf.com, and click that donate button, and we'll add your gift to the proceeds from the 12 packs. I'm hearing a little rumor that these packs might be available in the future. You're gonna wanna get your hands on them, because I'll tell you, man, every single one of these is top notch.
Yeah.
They put a lot of intention, a lot of work. You've got folks who are brand new, folks who have been in the game for a long time, working together to make this super special.
Absolutely.
And all of your proceeds go to support the Children's Transportation Fund through the Shriners Hospital.
Absolutely. Like, you know, definitely there's some collabs here. There's some breweries that drop some beers in. There's breweries who literally made this beer for this event. And it's great to see them, you know, drop a logo on their can. It gets more information out there. It gets people aware of it. There's a couple more boxes left if you guys had a great time, or if somebody was like, oh man, I didn't get it. You might be able to get it. There's only a few left.
That's right, and I heard there might be some bonus videos on the director's cut later on, right? There might be some videos that didn't necessarily get aired today.
I mean, that thing that you did earlier?
That thing
That's
I
probably
did?
gonna be on
Yeah,
there.
that thing. Hopefully that wasn't cut. Hey, you guys told me, the crew told me they did not record that thing. That better not make it. I'm married. I want to stay married. But we've got a local band. It's called Crawdad Republic. They've got a video. It's a special treat for you guys, but make sure you guys stay tuned for the director's cut. We're going to put a lot of behind-the-scenes video. Shout out to Riverview. Thank you to all the breweries. Check out this video from Crawdad Republic. Peace.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
It's been a long, hard week. My body is weary, vacant, defeated, and dry. And I belong in a weekend. At least that's the theory. Let's start it early this time. Tuesday night. Weekend. least that's the theory. Let's start it early this time.